feel like shipping needs levels, and he needs a level.
Give levels of like cleric.
Yeah.
So much XP from these battles, surely. So, any business before we get started?
Nothing off the top. What happened last time?
Yes, well, last time was a lot of talking. The previous session, the battle of the Draculich ended and pretty much ended with that. So last time was the aftermath of that battle, having a long and maybe enlightening conversation with one Ivan Heavensong, who you initially thought was the person that came to your aid in that battle with the Draculich, rather arrogantly, and got himself killed. But it was in fact the animated or the sentient breastplate that this person was wearing that was in control of that person during that fight and died. It
Oh yeah.
came to an agreement with the party that the party would cast reincarnation to
The breastplate.
the breastplate came to this agreement that the party would cast reincarnation on the dead occupant of the breastplate. It turns out that like worked for Topple, the guy that was inside the breastplate was like a volunteer, just like no real combat levels or anything, but is like empowered or like gives control of himself over to this animate weapon, this breastplate in combat. The breastplate could have resurrected him the next day, but didn't want to wait. So the party Gray cast reincarnation and turned this person into a halfling. And they are now a halfling. They teleported eventually after the conversation. They teleported home to Loomis. I almost said Lumen because we just started watching Severance again. Loomis. The city of Light, where presumably the wand of Orcus still remains secured. Learned a little bit about that. Topple is this organization that's pretty opposed to vampires of all stripes. Accused, like they, claim to be kind of the be watching the watchers sort of vibe. And they are very critical of the vampire's role in the society of Loomis as these like guardians of the temple and people who are responsible for defending the city from the undead environs and the necroarchs. They're always seeking to, as recently said by the Draculich, going to besiege the city, wake up their prince, and march and to conquer the world, etc. Evil Baghdad clan. Topple hates the vampires, very critical of them, and accused a hero of the vampires, of betraying the city and stealing a holy relic, the Holy Avenger. And this person's name was Visigoth.
Yeah.
And then to peace and teleported out, presumably back to Topple, back to Loomis. And the party, I think most of the whole session was like conversation.
Figuring out if we're gonna bring them back.
Yeah, one conversation about that.
Yeah, kind of, and then. I mean, it's real H-1B, visa situation going on with this guy. You got to eventually talk once we resurrected him. And he's just like, man, it's like a shit contract. And like, I'm just dealing with it. And it's like, yeah, all right, man. Sorry. We were going to just throw the breastplate over the side of the ship because he was talking too much. But he ended up being pretty cool, bamfed out. So,
Yeah, the guy was cool. The breastplate was
a knob.
How did the breastplate still fit when he got turned into a halfling?
It's magic.
It was magic. It transformed with him. Some of his other clothes and stuff did not, but
oversized clothing.
yeah, he was like cutting off like excess fabric and like tying off things to like make his, clothing fit well enough to provide some decency to travel back home.
Mando under that armor.
I
So
think that
this
was
is
all my important questions about last session.
Yeah.
So Visigoth stole a relic from him?
That's what the guy
That's Topple's story.
Topple, claimed. I think you guys sent a message to Visigoth, right?
We did.
Yes.
Asked what he remembered about Topple. He remembers them as friendly, mostly harmless, or mostly aligned and harmless, kind of a small organization. That's about all I wrote down. We
Oh, the dreamer talked to me.
Oh, yeah.
The dreamer definitely said that dragon was on a mission, and it got tipped off. Or Sister Remember got tipped off to send the dragon our way by Ellis.
Yeah, Sister Remember, pulled strings of history and worked in the background, like in a much similar way as the Dreamer does. And like you've been sent on those missions to hopefully cause significant influence in the future without having a overt footprint. And yeah, allowed this Necrarch, this Dracolich, to like pull the strings in such a way that the Dracolich like spied on you guys at the perfect moment instead of like missing some detail and knew exactly where to ambush you guys. Having learned from spying on, I think a conversation with Ellis between Ellis and her father Eric Bastard, back home in Ball Creek, that you guys were at the Archival Bastion. So it was definitely an ambush that was, not, the ambusher was not Sister Remember, but she certainly pulled the strings in such a way to cause an enemy of yours to show up at an inconvenient time.
Power.
She is pretty hell-bent against us now, right?
I mean, you guys won't tell her about her brother because you're assholes. She just wants to know about her brother. Is that so wrong?
But we don't know that we know about her brother, so
We're down. She's a forgotten mad god.
Brother is in the heart of all things. Hidden in the heart of all things.
She is a shattered, broken remnant of what she was. Her brother, yeah, in deep in the heart of all of the living things. She is seeking us and will not stop until she finds us. She's not evil.
Party possibly knows too much about where the brother is. That's what I have written down. I don't know.
But she has made knowledge of her brother unavailable to herself. Which is why she needs us to find.
Protection from the dreamer is the only thing keeping the sister almost completely at bay for us. What I also have written down, but
yeah, and the dream will keep trying to watch her.
interfere and help obscure as best they can. Yeah, I unfortunately I'm unclear as to what she may be referencing. Heads, but hey.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
So
and
I
then
think we'll just get underway, and you guys can start asking these questions and talking more in character as I'll set the scene.
last thing, Jared, we had a mutiny on the decks, and our crew is full of cowards.
So did you threaten to cut their pay?
What pay?
Well, I'm trying to offer them a raise that didn't go well. They want off.
Yeah, Alex
So-
and crew were realizing that they were caught up in the moment being hired on in that party at Vol Creek and have found themselves more underfoot than particularly helpful in most occasions, especially this last battle where like the bloodlines were like crawling inside of Chippy, and they were just like, we have swords and we're hacking at this, but like this could kill us in a single blow sort of scenario. There's realizing how in over their heads they are.
Beep Boop was a little toxic about their
Yeah,
departure.
and there's definitely a
Yeah.
hostile work environment,
Beep
thanks to
Boop.
Beep Boop.
Yeah.
It's not hostile. It's just, we were told that they were up to the challenge, and Beep Boop doesn't like being lied to.
We didn't
I like
realize
small
what
don't get captured.
valuable meat shields they were providing for us.
Well, I don't think we were expecting half the things to happen. So I think
Yeah.
90% of the things that happen. So I don't think we had any.
I planned
way-
all of that from the start.
We had just gotten our ship when
Like,
they jumped
imagine
out.
we're surprised. We can at least kind of survive ish. So are they? So they want off.
We're gonna.
Yeah, we left off last session with Chippy and all of you heading back up to Mount Inaru to drop off the crew that wants to disembark, allowing at their convenience, what's her name, Bataria, to teleport them back to like Ball Creek or wherever they need to go. So that's the plan. It was also like, as usual, like half day to fly back up to far enough away from the planet that ship can start moving fast. And Mount Inaru is already like on its way back to the world. So it's probably, a full day's journey or so to get to Mount Inaru. So enough time for you guys to get a long rest. And then,
They've got the taste for adventure now. They'll be back.
once it'll be like one of those systems where like they finally like sleep in an appropriate bed and then they get to level up and they'll get like 10 levels suddenly.
Oh yeah, all at once.
Yeah.
Do we know? I mean, they have been helpful, so I feel like we should give them a going away present of some kind.
Pizza party.
Pizza party, yeah.
If they come back to the subjugation dog door though.
That's why we're going back to Einer. Great.
He's begging for a job.
That's why we're going back to Einer, the dwarvish, or the culture in there is just steeped in like what we would know as Italian cuisine. So before we wiped out its inhabitants.
We did no such thing. That was the Censored.
No.
I'm game for a going away present.
Do we have okay? But what are our funds?
Ooh, raw numbers. We wrote that down at some
I
point.
think Evan was the bookkeeper, unfortunately.
No, we he might have put this in the chat.
On the
Yeah.
blockchain.
Yeah, he
I
might have put this in
wrote-
the chat.
I currently have 10,370 golds. And I think that is what I have track of at the moment, but Evan did say a while ago.
When Evan told us, I wrote down 10,275 gold.
Yeah, okay, so that's right. We've used some since then.
Yeah.
I don't know what on, but we've used it.
We haven't really been in many places to buy
We might have
things.
used some GP value there for some resurrections, maybe.
Oh yeah, that could be.
No, that all comes out of the fund of
The fund of many
Bellstone.
things.
Weird. Yeah, I think we have been using Bellstone for that.
Our intensely fungible fund.
Yeah.
Is it gold?
Interesting.
Is it platinum? Is it Bellstone? Well, it depends on what you need.
Is it Doge?
I don't know, but I feel like Mark, what would a year's living wage be in Canada?
Yeah.
I mean, really, just like a few dozen gold, probably, and that's like a decent like living wage for just like a worker, and like so. But that's like that's
So a silver a piece.
For pay, you know, that's like common worker who.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's like, I think it's like a silver a day is like a typical like laborer's wage in most D&D environment, like this D&D environment.
So we owe them
Um,
7 silver.
Don't spend it all in one place.
I don't want to have a revolution.
Don't ever
on my
forget
hands
space.
when we get back to Kenton.
How many people are there? How many crew members?
I think there's only
Yeah.
like 4.
There's 4.
Considering they weren't willing to take a raise to stay, something nice to make them remember us well.
I'm fairly certain I
Talking about
did give her a.
morale.
I gave Ellis a scarf. That's
We
like the
don't
nicest
need-
scarf that she's ever seen.
Nice.
Would
I
be
got them a
master
mouse
crafted
pad
scarf.
so that they could work better.
Definitely valued at more than 7 silver. So I mean,
A BHG branded goblet of some kind.
Yeah, merch.
Yeah,
And it's free advertising too.
yeah, different colors for each one of them.
And blown training company on the back.
Yeah.
No, but I feel like they have been helpful, so we should
Yeah.
make sure that they feel that their efforts have not been appreciated, and because this is a very important thing we're doing, and I think
Yeah.
they were part of it,
They were part of something important.
regardless of whether or not they think they can continue.
How about this? Because I don't know where we're going to recrew, and obviously we need them. What if we can get them 100 GP apiece? How many is there? 6?
4.
100 GP apiece, and 200 if they hang out with us until we're done.
We are changing the entire
Oh.
economy of the city of Valkyrie. Just so you know, if you give them 100 gold each, that's like an emerald
feel like
mine's
they
worth
earned
of.
it, though.
You're sending
They
them off with
might-
an emerald mine's worth of inheritance.
They might not live.
These people over here thinking he's like, what's his name? King Mansumuntu, or like what like caused actual economic crisis in all these countries that he traveled through while going on the Hajj. Because he was just like throwing so much gold around. Because like, yeah, they had like 90% of the gold in the world at that moment. Like,
Oh my God.
wild.
Well,
Have any of them talked about building really shitty chariots?
It steers
In which
itself.
we don't give that guy any money.
Using their inheritance to build a cyber chariot.
Next thing they know, they're going to be launching rockets into the skies.
Yeah, I know. Like,
All right, 50 gold pieces. I don't. I feel
I'm
like
I'm just
getting them
messing with you.
around might be worth it. If I don't, just saying. But
I feel
going,
like they've
I
earned
don't
it
know.
basically because they have a story no one's ever gonna believe. Yeah, these guys came to town with a flying ship and then they took us to space. Like, yeah, whatever.
I feel like they could go home with some riches. This is what I'm saying. Like they're part of something important.
I mean,
Trying to
adventurers pay.
right, adventurers pay for 7 days.
All
For,
right.
we
High level
talk
adventurers
about
pay.
the,
For,
100 gold apiece works. And if they want to, they can take the tentacle rod with them, since nobody seems to want to use it.
what?
Even they don't want it.
It's like the what?
Wait, what is it? Maybe I can persuade them that they want it.
I don't.
Yeah, so I
Does
feel like
anybody tell Quilla about the tentacle rod, or
I have.
do you just leave it as an unknown?
The tentacle rod?
I don't
What's
remember it
this?
at all. I don't remember this at all.
I'm fairly certain that Quilla knew about the tentacle rod, didn't she?
Wait,
no.
Oh, yeah.
We got that pretty early on.
We've got a tentacle rod that nobody seems to want to use. It is very tentacular.
And
It's in the
does-
stores.
It's in stores now.
What does it do?
It attacks with multiple tentacles.
Ryan chuckling.
This is
Um,
tentacle rod. It's the biggest new toy this Christmas.
We're
People are beating each other up in lines to get the tentacle
Oh.
rod.
It's like the tiger talk boy from Home Alone. It's like everyone's gotta have it.
let's see, the tentacle rod. It attacks any creature within 15 feet of you. You can make a melee attack with each tentacle and does 1d6 damage per hit. And it can make a Constitution saving throw, or its speed is reduced by half. And it has disadvantage on saving throws. Dexterity
If you hit
saving
him with
throws.
all of them, then
Yes.
like, there's something extra that happens.
Tentacle Rod is a crazy gamer
Or
tag.
something.
I know, right? Yeah.
And it has a +9 to attack. Damn.
Yeah. Used pretty creatively
wow.
once to like catch somebody that was falling out of the air, just like
Yep.
tentacle them. That was really awesome.
That's cool.
It's Pesha. Leave that alone.
It is
It
Pesha.
does not. You guys just are capable of doing much more damage than it at this stage.
Put that in the trophy room.
We can do it to them to sell. Or use.
Yeah.
Do with as they see fit.
Anyways, Peepoop will let the party decide how we take best action with these
I mean, what if we give them 50 gold each and
underlings.
a rod, and they can do what they want?
I think 100.
I like 100. I would go
I
with
like
that.
100. It's a nice round number.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
I'm staying out of it. I'm down with my
Challenge
weak loops.
bonus. Oh yeah, challenge bonus though. They stick around 100 more on completion. But I feel like I'm a union rep over here. I'm just making sure.
I think we can offer that. You know.
If they want it, sure. But
Okay.
I suspect that's not what they're interested in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the promise that we'll do everything in our power to resurrect or revive them.
Okay. So we're still on Shippy.
But obviously there's no
We're
guarantees.
traveling to Inaru.
Yeah.
I wake up. I was first to go to sleep. Dreamer left me pretty well rested. I wake up. I look for Ellis.
Yeah.
Okay. I look for Ellis. We'll have this discussion at some point.
Mhm.
But I want to pose the the offer to him immediately, or him, and as he may represent the crew.
Yeah. Ellis, she smiles at you like really, earnestly and says, I'll certainly share the offer with the others, but I don't think I think the point remains that we feel more and more that we'd be in the way. Shippy can fly itself. Even we're not like you need us to batten down the hatches or whatever other things the sailors do. We just mostly have been doing a little cooking, a little bit of cleaning, but it doesn't seem like what we're actually doing is really all that useful to you all in comparison to what you're capable of. But anyway, I'll share the offer and let you know if any 30 takers.
Please do. Do appreciate it. Okay, it's on the books. See if there's anyone on the crew who wants to stick around. But I know where we go. Any last updates to Shippy possibly? Yeah. You got Bellstone to spend on this guy?
Only me. You guys are the keepers of the wallet.
Who's got Bellstone?
The Bellstone stores are as follows. We have
Has he been
240.
repaired after he's been almost killed?
No,
He's been like dry
He's-
docked and
he's self-repairing right now. We need Bloodroot to
Yeah.
repair him.
that's right, he regenerates.
We have 24,600, not 25 anymore. We spent some on
Okay.
reviving people.
Nice. Okay. Thanks for checking that.
Gotcha.
And they were still cool with getting off at Ainu, right? I think that was the idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have about 900 pounds of Zephyr. Is what I have. If that.
Yeah, that's so much money.
It's a lot of Zephyr.
I have that we have 4. Ooh. Wait, where is it? 852 pounds of pure Zephyr Zone plus 3 capsules of refined Zephyr, which is about 100 pounds each.
Yeah, you have an awful lot of Zephyr, and that's like 500 gold per pound of Zephyr.
Correct.
Needed for things.
Good to know.
Dude, my honor.
You know, not the most available market, as you have to find kind of specialists
Yeah.
and stuff that
People who are
would
interested
be
in Zephyr.
dealing with such an exotic thing.
How
Well,
hung?
Like
How?
10,000 gold pieces worth of Zephyr.
I
Yeah,
think when like talking about that, Chloe's like, "Oh, I've got," and then like thinking about her father and all his nonsense, she immediately just like shuts up and kind of loses track for a sec.
I mean, weaponized uranium doesn't sell itself, you know.
you gotta work to find a buyer.
Yeah.
Speaking of
And stay
Zephyr,
alive.
how hungry is Shippy? Is he feeling a little hungry or a lot of hungry?
Oh man. I think it's been a while since we've tracked the fuel level.
At least since we got back from the plane of air.
Yeah. I would say that like we can consider you guys having just like topped off Shippy with like when you were in the plane of air. And then that's been not a huge amount of time. I mean that's been but that's been like a flight from Mount Inaru back down to the world and
back.
hijinks and then back. So yeah, probably I don't know. Yeah, I think like maybe like half tank again.
What was our plan returning to Loomis then? Do we have one yet? I know we want to figure out how we're gonna get there.
I think there's one other bit of story and the conversation that we might want to have before we get to Mount Inaru. And that was the party and Xerox both had some, I think, questions for the Dark Star Prince since their most recent conversation with Ivan Heavensong and the Endless Scourge. Sock is all.
Yeah.
We learned the name of the.
Yeah, the Dracula. Ivan Heavensong knew its name. Like Sock, it's all Kultzi's the Endless Scourge.
Spell that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sock is spelled Sock.
ZZZ.
ZZZ.
ZZZ. ZZZ.
TZAK apostrophe IZZAL. And then space KULXYZZ.
XYZD.
Yes.
Yeah.
An endless scourge.
The coward. The ancient coward.
The yellow bellied.
The yellowed the bellied yellow. The great yellow belly. Just talk shit on this thing as soon as it comes back.
Tried that, it didn't work. Yeah, so. Do we want to try to summon the presence of the Dark Star Prince, or?
You that guy with the lamp?
Beep boop?
His lamp?
His well, it was his shard. It was the shard that we threw.
It's gone now. He'll
It's
be
gone.
happy to hear that. We haven't talked to him since we got rid of it.
Wasn't a fan.
As long as I'm not getting, long as I'm not getting stunned by this guy showing up, I'll be fine.
You'll be fine. His presence is much more peaceful.
All right. I got nothing against it.
I would like to say Beep Boop is continually being downstairs trying to fix Leap Loop. He has questions. Not for our Leap Loop, but the ones that we found.
Oh, excellent.
The other loop loop. Yeah. I think was distracted and worried about her family,
Mhm.
and she'll kind of let the rest of the party take a little bit of a lead with what's going on here because she's feeling so unsure. But I think she would say, like, I think she's just feeling like they're everywhere, like the enemy is everywhere.
Mhm.
They're just they just keep infiltrating. I don't know who we can trust besides everybody on board, and even them who being spied on.
Yeah, keep the information tight then.
Yeah. So
I'm doing my best thinking while doing pull-ups this early in the morning. On the deck of the ship.
It helps the blood flow to the brain.
He's a simple creature. Just gotta wake up.
Right. Well, if the party's not opposed, Xerox will take a seat midships and attempt to reach her consciousness out and connect with her.
Do we need to draw like a pentagram on the ground? Light some candles?
Oh yeah, one of those crew members, we need to cut their throat.
Throw the gold down in the middle of him. Last one to grab it is the loser.
Yeah. You can only quit if you live.
But we go that scene, but yeah, we'll do that next.
I think Tehran feels a tad bit sorry the crew is leaving, even if they did feel underused. Find a means to start up an early morning dice game before breakfast with one of them. In the corner, just spend some time with them, hang out, say hey. He definitely doesn't remember their names, but like he's making the best effort.
Well, there's Ellis and Jimothy, and I think those are the only two that we actually named.
Can't
Might
believe
not
we
have
don't
to
want to
vote.
stay after we got them those new red Starfleet uniforms.
I mean, really.
I comment, like I tell him, hey, it looks good though. Like it looks good. I mean, like, I know it's not, it just, we had a lot of people on board at the time, it just helped us kind of differentiate everybody. So thanks for being good sports about it. I know the uniforms are a lot.
We do still have ellipses on board too, right?
Yes, the sad,
Who's
sad beast.
Our sad.
Our resident sad boy.
Yeah.
What? There's got a resident sad boy?
Resident sad abomination.
I think has he been our
Was our
chef?
chef, yeah.
Wow.
Is he good? I guess.
It's
Was the
found
food?
a new happiness in cooking.
Yeah, food's
I think
good.
the food's good.
He
Pretty good,
was
chef.
a biological experiment done by a
Wanna be beholder or
wannabe a beholder named Zikaso.
yeah.
Right. What,
Shaker.
so, what's his name again? Their name?
Ellipses.
Ellipses.
Ellipses is
Like-
at least not in pain anymore.
Yeah, we did help him not be in pain, but
What
he
an
was still
abomination? I guess I didn't get the
pretty
one.
miserable.
Oh, okay.
He,
Well,
he's
he needs a job.
no, what is he? Bugbear?
He's he's a
Like like mutated and
mutated.
Okay, yeah, I think I remember this a little bit.
with
Well, he's not gonna want to quit. This is his only job.
no, but speaking of all this money, we should probably pay him too.
He's not going to be able to get another job. Look.
No. He could work on Underroot if he wants.
Yeah.
That's a good. You can pose it to him. Everyone seems to be wanting to hang out with the Inerunians.
All right. Yeah. We ran past him in the was underneath the one of the mountains.
Yeah, it was when he was Evan's character in the
Right before we got the ship.
yeah, right before when we were on our when we were under the mountains looking for something that would help us get the ship.
Under the Sky Sparrow
Yeah.
Mountains, we kind of stumbled into a interdimensional layer of sorts.
Yeah,
Just bothered Mark about this.
it was the
Hey, Mark,
work.
is the Lipsy's part of the crew too? And is he quitting or are they quitting?
Quitting sticking around. Let's
Yeah, all right.
Ride or die.
It's the only job he can get or they can get.
But we should make sure we pay him.
I mean, if he's not going nowhere.
We should pay our crew weekly just in case if we all die, they're not left in the lurch.
What's he need money for? We don't allow him off the ship.
I mean,
What's he gonna do? Invest?
You need like
The
bring in like
illusion of
video
freedom.
vending machines on board that you guys stock and like profit off. So you make like a little company town where like
When he just
we
comes
paid
back
them
to
in
us.
company credit.
Pay your money back.
You get 50 big help bucks.
I'm sure you guys working for meal and like safety gloves and stuff. Like we're in vending machines. Like first one's free, but if you need to protect your hands in the future, it's $15.
What's the exchange rate on big help bucks?
Mhm.
Oh
You
my
get
God.
1 big help buck per hour volunteered towards shipping.
Yeah, those can be
Off the ship,
either converted to real
1,000
money
per
or
one copper.
take time off.
Right?
Yeah.
Or 1/8 of a Dogecoin.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, or our big help coin.
Yeah.
It's now on the blockchain.
Yeah.
That's
The BHG coins.
awesome. Yeah.
Anyway, we were just
Wow.
hanging around talking about the crew.
Excellent.
Ugh.
Yeah. All right. So you guys gather around a dark and super edgy pentagram is scrolled around
Xerox was just carving it into the deck. And he's like, ow.
we've already damaged the ship enough.
I'm in occult ritual.
Tehran is not used to all the darkness, but he vibes with it. He's like, yeah, all right, okay. Okay, I get it. It's not my thing, but might have to walk out of the room if I get too scared.
Mark,
The house music from Blade starts playing faintly.
Perfect. This is my favorite scene, bro.
Cool that we have this ship
Rain
flying
flood
up
from
the
nowhere.
mountain space, doing an occult ritual. Wow.
Soundtrack of Blade.
Yeah. With a crew that doesn't want to be on the board. And
We're the
chef
good guys.
who's abomination or weird thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Please tell me we started this ritual on the way to dropping them off. Like they're all waiting to get off the boat, putting this pentagram on there. Like, come on, guys, can we get off, please?
There's like nervousness, like the crew is just like asking Ellis, like, is this for us? Like, I thought we were just gonna get off. Like, what did you say?
They were gonna give us a raise. Bless it.
But yeah, you do this, perform this ritual, and once again, like it's easier to do in your coffin, but you go deep within yourself where you can reach out from there to this benefactor of yours, this Dark Star Prince. And once again, all of you are able to see as you guys pass through this layer of clouds, and like as you go out past it, it seems like the ship does not return to like a level of luminance. Like there's just a darkness, a little bit of a slightly more darkness than you would expect as you like clear the clouds, and just like light just doesn't recover. And as you look around, you see this form of this tall, powerful figure that is just has this like roiling, almost like ink-like uh, coating, just like over them. That just looks like you like drips off, and like even before they touch the ground, they're often just like dissolving away. These little like ink drops. That Art Star Prince is aboard, on aboard Tippy, just like 6 feet away from Xerox. As you open your eyes, feeling that presence, you see this figure ahead of you.
I should say that. I wasn't aware that the Order of the Dark Star had more members than yourself.
You rightfully have questions. The answers to them may set in motion things that will bring to an end rapidly the aid I am able to provide. I have spoken before that long ago I gave the gift of this power, much the same as I have given to you, to one unworthy of it. From them sprung forth countless vampiric spawn, stain upon your world that I feel I am responsible for, even as they were corrupted by Orcus and the Necronomicon.
I thought that Orcus was responsible for the origination.
What I created is not what they became, just as you, at this moment, continue to have a choice as to what you are. If you break faith with your purpose, you will fall to the darkness and the hunger, just as he did. I have taken a great risk imbuing you with this power, but I believe the time is right for such a risk. Those loyal to the freedom of your kind may express their rage and fury again.
So Ventric is your creation, and he has been imbued with the power of the Necronomicon by Orcus.
The Necronomicon is the will of Orcus in the world. It is his influence.
And was your purpose in creating beings such as myself to protect this dimension? What was your motivation?
I sought to give aid and bolster your strength, that you may wield it against your enemies. That of Orcus and the forces of death in the world, and well as Ashimedai.
And there was a similar rising, a similar evil to be combated in the time of Ventric, and he turned those gifts to the service of someone else.
Exactly so. I created Ventric in a moment of weakness and near madness, Hashemadai is a fragment of Asmodeus, unique to your world, fractured at the same moment as I was from my former self and what it became, Orcus. I was known, I was a part of something. Heroes of 1,000,000 worlds united in purpose. I was the Undying. I was Aurelius. My brother in arms, heroes again, from age upon age and world upon world, united in a form, a single avatar with godlike powers, the unity, Asmond. We went into the depths of the hells and of evil to bring light and to bring victory. And during that titanic struggle, the world fractured. And what I was struck down as much by the wounds I received as I was by the madness that corrupted the heart of me. Seeing the edges of our universe fracture and curl away, and something abominable beyond. In that moment, I was slain, and I was fragmented just like Asmond. The bulk of Asmond became Asmodeus. The bulk of Aurelius, the Undying, became Orcus. But both were fractured across each of the worlds from which we drew strength. All those worlds that had contributed a hero, a champion of the age to fight the tides of darkness. All those heroes that made the body and strength of Asmond and I. I was shattered across them, and upon this world I became diminished. And in those first moments of my return, I was maddened almost to the point of corruption. And in that madness, I demanded a solution, a response to the corruption and the death that was now creeping upon the world. And so I imbued my strength in Prince Ventric, who presented himself as a hero of his age. But he used powers that I gave him, and the powers of when the gods walked upon the world to devour souls and strengthen himself. He became truly a monster, equal in strength and ambition to Asmodeus, or rather Hashemadai. Wielding the wand Orcus, he was nigh undefeatable. But through great struggle, he was bound away in the city of Lumis, forever interred, and the power of the wand purified and turned against him. The wand is removed, and Svendrick will wake, assuming he still remains asleep. Truly, I did not know whether he was still yet living or dead or interred, or if Loomis had found some way to break him finally. I cannot proceed into that city of light, not while I remain hidden as I am.
So regardless of whether or not he is already awake, based on what his compatriot said, my assumption, my suspicion is that he is not. But regardless, if we were to remove the wand of Orcus, that would trigger his ascent. Regardless.
If he remains interred and pacified, it is still by the combined effort of the Temple of Lathander that was established with the sole purpose of protecting the city and transforming, burning away the power of the wand and wielding it in such a way that it is, so long as the wand is secure, Prince Bentrick should, the idea was that Prince Bentrick would not be able to awaken or escape.
Oh, it is being used to keep him in his place.
If you take the wand, just, it would be beneficial if you could also slay Prince Bentrick at that moment. Doing so is difficult, as Bentrick and his necroarchs have made of each other phylacteries. Their souls, their capacity to regenerate bound up in each other.
So does that mean that to slay one, you must slay all of them?
Permanently destroy any of them, they must all be destroyed. Bentrick is the focus of that, and if he is destroyed, weakened even further, that would likely weaken the power of his generals, the four necroarchs. And with each one destroyed, the others, it's difficult to say that would strengthen the remainder or weaken them. But with Ventric destroyed, they would certainly all be weakened. He is the nexus of the lich-like magic that bounds them all.
So, given the fact that he has undoubtedly reinforced himself since your involvement in his creation, what is if we cannot destroy him, what would allow us to remove him from the plane without at the same time destroying all of them? Is it simply a temporary measure to destroy him to buy us time?
I know of no way to prevent the regeneration of Ventric or any of the necroarchs, so long as any of them remain alive. That Ivan Heavensong spoke of trying to capture or bind the soul of the Dracolich upon slaying it, preventing it from regenerating. But if such a capacity exists, it is not something I am aware of.
So it must be if they have that capacity, it must be some capability that has been developed by topple?
I I don't know. Topple itself is not an organization I am familiar with. Much of the inner workings of Loomis, and certainly whatever they may be now, is alien to me. I think out of character, I think Nazira would say, I think would add that she would say like not dissimilar to something that I was doing around capturing the souls of the of a Shemadai, of the Whispered Litany, or Shema Thal, preventing them from returning to whatever pocket hell exists under their control. If we could capture them when we kill them, or at least bind or slow them, that would give us a greater window to operate to do this.
What about banish them?
These creatures, I think both Prince Ventric and the children of Ashemadai, shall we call them? They are native to this plane. So it would be more a like forcing them through a gate or a teleportation against their will. The banishment would likely be temporary because they're native to this plane rather than a different one.
Right. But that's a window.
It could be a window, but that would be, unless we cooked up some more powerful magic, that would be in the vein or the realm of minutes. But what we're discussing with the a soul prison would give us, that would eventually degrade most surely, and they would escape. But that could be, weeks.
So we need to construct the soul prison.
I think Nazira has talked about a spell that can do at least a short-term version of that.
Really quickly, before we continue this conversation too far, can I retcon that I have started casting a spell to block out anybody from observing us while we have this conversation?
Yeah, you absolutely can. When you cast it, you feel that magic go into the air, and it is effectively already, like, the effect is already present. Like this darkness that the Darkstar Prince has kind of suffused Shippy with it seems to be a temporary sort of block from scrying or perceiving.
Shit, I wasted a 4th level spell slot. Thanks. Whatever. That's cool.
So to find this Ventric, if he is where he was left, he would be on the grounds of the Temple of Lathander.
Buried in the vault at in the center of the hill that Loomis is built on and around. When I last saw Loomis, it was little more than the temple grounds still under construction. The city itself, I believe, and from what Ivan Heavenson said, has grown substantially into the surrounding miles. But still, I would imagine at the heart of the city is still that temple, underneath which, in the center of that hill, is Prince Ventric interned. And above that, in the temple grounds, the wand of Orcus, maintained under the brilliant and burning light of Lathan.
You said once we're there, I am no longer able to call on you for assistance.
The powers that you possess are yours to wield, but without revealing my true form, I cannot enter that place. blessings and enchantment is what Vendor was reviewing. There are
because that enchantment is being is being worked against in their efforts to keep Ventric interred. Therefore, those powers are diametrically opposed to your current manifestation.
exactly.
Um,
There are still some few who remember my old name, which I have not spoken.
yeah, you know that
I'm hesitant even with the guards that I have placed up here to speak it. You have witnessed already recently the power of names. There will come a time where I will be able to share this, my name, and discard this shadowed disguise. But once that has happened, I will have a very limited window before I am unable to directly or as directly interact with your realm. And I will also be potentially bound in certain ways.
are you currently looking to make this window happen?
I believe that I will have one chance to make good retribution long owed to the Imperium and to Hashemadai, and also to the powers of Orcus.
And what can we do? Is our current path in seeking to find Ventric in, at least temporarily, does that fall into the line, does that contribute to that plan? Or is that a part of that plan? Or is there something greater that we can contribute?
I learned from my folly in creating Ventric that the freedom of your world, it's what it becomes when it has defeated the last remnants of these old demands of it. It will be dependent on your kind. I have been watching and waiting for your people to become ready to fight against this and deliver a decisive blow. It is your plan ultimately that I am following and hoping to support. I have already failed in such a way that cannot be forgiven at the creation of Ventric and allowing the influence of Orcus to corrupt so much of this world for so long. I will say that when you think the time is right, I will unleash all my fury upon our shared enemies. If that means battle with Hashemadai, I can break or occupy that demon role or devil while you deal with whatever you need to. Or if it is with Ventric and Orcus, I can destroy perhaps some or all of his necroarchs. I will have for a short time a great power. But if I fail, that power will be bound in much the same way as the five divines. So we cannot fail when that time comes.
Understood. Well, it seems my next step is taking my efforts to Loomis, endeavoring to either bind or temporarily destroy this Ventric so that we may employ so that we may use the wand of Orcus to our designs. Strike a permanent blow against the Shemadi and the Imperium.
Me too. Sounds good.
I thank you for your candor.
Bye.
Bye.
I ask your forgiveness for providing this information slowly, as even sharing this, every piece of information about me could be used to determine my name and reveal me to our enemies. I share as much as I have as a show and a promise of my faith in you and your companions. And if after the enemies in your world are defeated, you and your allies wish to put an end for their crimes and complicity, the five divines, I will assail even them alongside you.
Fuck yeah.
You will not find me standing in your way.
Taron just thinks that's really hard. What was said, he's just flexing under his arm.
Yeah. And I would be remiss if I didn't ask one more thing.
2.
In our efforts against Ventric, particularly as insulting event is the ascent of one General Harkhill. My personal vendettas are not the priority here. If there's any way that he may find himself happening into the swing of my hammer, I would be most grateful.
Perhaps together we can find a way to bind together the fates of Harkill and Ventric and take them out at the same time. If indeed the Necrarch's forces are assembling at Loomis to besiege that city, then it might be easier to cross this path than we might otherwise be.
Well, I look forward to it, should it happen. But in the meantime, at least I shall set my sights to rectifying terrible blight that sits underneath the city of Loomis.
I think with that, the Dark Star Prince nods at you and just kind of evaporate. Oh, is there one? You're downstairs. I'm pretty sure you said.
I am downstairs. I forgot I had a question. It's fine. Bye. See you later.
He could have thought of it and hollered it over Rory's telepathic bond. With,
He comes running upstairs, just like waiting for. Oh shit! He's already gone. Fuck.
Perfect. Yeah, you just see him, like burn away like mist in the sun. And instead of the expect light being restored, you realize that you guys have now at this point sailed clean out of the atmosphere, and you see just like the very sharply directional light from the sun as you guys are now up into space, heading back towards Mount Einerwood. We can say that you guys reached the mountain safely, finding it much closer to the world as it has continued its journey back. And the crew does with some emotion depart, finding the draw of additional double adventure pay. Just not being
They
quite
didn't want to
enough.
re-enter the Squid Games.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
You are. Yeah.
They became aware of the limitations of resurrection and how after the first one you just may not come back, and they're like, do I really want to run these odds?
I saw a guy come back as a halfling. They're like, nah.
Yeah, they're like, no thanks.
Ew.
Clothes are all fucked up. Jeez.
I think Quilla will make sure she has that conversation with Ellis, and she's got her neighbor book now, so that they can keep conversation going.
Yeah, she gives you the
And
stone as
Yeah,
well.
so we have a sending stone.
Use the last one from like the previous day, so it'll be recharged as soon as you need it. But like use the last one just to send to her dad, like to Eric Mustard. Hey, like just like not sure when we're actually going to be back in Valkyrie, but we're off. The big help things flying ship will be teleported back, but we're leaving the stone with them. So I use that.
Okay.
Hey, remember that one time you used that stone and had a dragon come attack us? That was cool. Great, thanks.
What?
Yeah, wasn't Alice getting spied on because of use of this stone?
I was being spied on?
Well,
Yeah.
that's how you control.
So, like, remember the last time you almost died and it was like your fault, basically?
Not Alice's fault at all.
It's not
See, this is kind of
This
what I
is-
mean. So, the dead dragon is
Just
looking
like
at me. Like, what the hell?
They could have been looking at me. They could have been looking at yeah. Just don't worry.
I
So,
think this is of you
We
being
did-
peril due to our fate.
We did not take the proper precautions. This is not on you.
Yeah.
Have you seen my stats? My saves are garbage.
It's okay because your account is now fat. And I start throwing out all bags of gold. Here you go.
That definitely brings some cheer to the crew, and many heartfelt exchanges are shared, except with Beep Boop.
Beep Boop don't care.
Beep doesn't care. He's on his way up to talk to the Lord of the Mountain, who is the witch known as whatever her name is, because I forget it at the top of my head right now.
Vitaria?
Vitaria, that's the one. God, no, Doppelzach, go to hell.
Alpha, Alphaba. Here we are.
Yeah, I think Vitaria is there, Doppelzox is there, and I think didn't you guys leave Togatots on the mountain?
Yeah,
as well?
Togatots is there.
Security for the lobotomite colonists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk to them, see what they like to be called, as long as they're here.
The lobotomite colonists.
I've taken the calling of the Irunians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm not gonna ever not call them the lobotomites. So
The lobotomites.
I don't know what you guys did to these
Were
people.
they descended from the original lobotomites that inhabited Mount Were we manipulated in taking out the current inhabitants?
I think the lobotomites would see the crew of Shippy like being allowed to go home and being like, so any trips home for the lobotomites?
they don't have a home.
Yeah, they've been unified by the strangeness of their experience and the most still in recovery. Like I think you guys landed on like they could like try and find out like where they're from and like get them home, but like it's also like a bunch of they were like abducted from like various villagers all over the world and stuff, or like villages all over the world. So it's like, does Vitaria happen to know where that is and be able to teleport them to there? And most of them like don't want to go back to the Imperium that were abducted from there because it sucks.
No Imperium here.
Yeah, no Imperium in space yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, they for sure. I think lobotomites welcome the crew for their limited duration and invite them to stay on Mount Ainaru forever. Stay with us. Be a lobotomite.
It's like, those are some long, pointy rods you have.
Here, your time
Joining
shared.
us is a complicated procedure, but requires the removal of your brain and then having it wished back into your head.
Fine.
I'm sensing the spawn of some new fun religion.
Yeah.
We're doing untold damage to the world, but we don't know it. Yeah.
Yeah, campaign 2 will be like Mount Ainaru, like a cult of Mount Ainaru coming down from the heavens.
I mean, we saw at least one power struggle on Ainaru, one
Yeah.
ancient one that we finally came across. It's could be a whole on cult versus cult on this thing next time we come around.
Yeah.
Guys, don't do
Yeah, like you guys arrive, Mount Ainaru, like all this happens, have these quick, these goodbyes and whatnots. Vitaria is definitely available, as well as if you guys want to take advantage of any of the like communication or spying capacity of Mount Ainaru, you're welcome to do that. If you'd like to send some messages or do some scrying, that's possible. But also it's just a safe spot, also just to wait out the rest of like this, 24-hour period. You need to allow Shippy to heal up.
I'm assuming we all got our rest in what we were.
Yeah, on the journey up.
On
So
the
you guys
journey up.
if you guys haven't completed like a long rest since the earlier fights, you're welcome to do that.
Beep Boop has a mission and would like to put Vitaria on it.
Oh yeah.
Vitaria, you have access to power this whole mountain right now, correct?
Also, just so y'all know, in case it comes up later. Sorry, go ahead and finish what you were saying.
No, you go.
Everybody gets a bonus to some extra HP when you complete your to your max HP when you complete the long rest.
Ooh.
I thought I had it right here, and I need to remember for sure what the number is. Go ahead and say what you're gonna say, because I need to confirm.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
plus 13
Nice.
to 5 of my closest friends. So I'll say
Closest.
you 4 that are here, and and Nazira. Yeah, because she'll be here soon.
Her eyes are rolling back in her head, and she's speaking like 3 languages
Yeah.
at once.
Yeah.
Just Nazira things.
Yeah. Beep how can I be of assistance? Vitaria says to you.
Is the mountain running at somewhat full capacity?
Repairs are underway on the attitude what do they call that thing? The big chunk of the mountain that blew off. Repairs are still underway. The mountain is still operating underneath its peak or prescribed capacity, but it is operating normally. Aside from that,
Is it
what would
capable
you do? You have
of searching for things? Because I just discovered the possibility of a new entire world.
Impressive. The mountain does have the capacity to perform scrying magic, if that's what you're requesting.
More like searching. I mean, scrying is one thing, but sure. I I figured at its Wapoapsis it'd have the power to search the heavens for any unknown and unfound worlds.
He chuckles. He says, do you expect us to what? Just look into the heavens? How would we do this outside of scrying magic? Do you have some new artifice to share with me?
I wish I did. I'm searching for that piece. I just know that the World Tree created a world that is currently dead and could be restored life. I have no way of knowing how to scry. This is beyond my relationship with magic.
Ah, yeah, the Panopticon network is capable of, at full capacity, many virtually innumerable castings of scrying. It does take direction at this point with the somewhat limited capacity of the systems. I'm sure myself and Doppelzox,
Ugh.
maybe Toby Knox, maybe you could learn that trick. Can operate the Panopticon Atlas or Panopticon Network and use its facilities to search the heavens for such a dark body as you have described.
And
Do you have any piece of this? Anything that could give us more familiarity with what we seek?
I sadly do not, but Gray and the Druid Circle of the Mushroom perhaps do.
She
You
sighs heavily, and I will leave it to you to reach out to Gray for such a useful piece. His communication style, I think, still remains beyond me.
No, he can talk now.
No, I've seen a little bit of what he's still capable of now. I think it'd be better if you spoke to him on your own behalf.
I honestly don't have any way to message him.
You and your companions are quite capable. Let me know if you're able to provide such an object. It will aid in our search, but otherwise, we will take care of this when we have time.
He doesn't have bandwidth for Gray.
Oh my gosh. Stop. But first, could you do me a favor and perhaps scry on the Verdant Forge?
The Verdant Forge.
Yes.
Do you have an object from this place?
Yeah, for fuck's sake, yeah, I do. But it is a brain inside of a ship. So I can't like bring it to you.
You think this is where Shippy was created?
I don't think I know. Knowledge is
Fascinating.
power.
Shippy is capable of connecting itself to the mountain systems. I could perhaps use that to aid in the search. I will investigate and let you know what I find.
Shippy, can you hook yourself up to the mountain?
Hi there. I already did.
Perfect. We can do this now, right?
There's work to be done. We can begin now, but this is an abnormal use of this spell and this artifice of the mountain. It'll take some time.
Like
You can assist with
before I
that if you
leave?
wish, or you can wait until I let you know what is available.
How much time are we thinking here? We only have so much time to be here before we're off to help.
Help until we gotta leave to help.
I would expect not more than an hour.
Excellent. Let me know when that happens. I have some leap loops to restore.
I'm sure that will be a delight. Do you need
We're leaving him
to
here.
block your sense of hearing? Do you have ears in the traditional sense?
Ugh.
Leap loop's annoying.
I don't have. I've got earmuffs when needed. I've somewhat sadly grown accustomed to speech of Leap Loop, but luckily it is not his story that I seek, but the ones that we procured.
He's lying. Deception check.
I love it when Leap Loop talks so much now. It's like reverse psychology. If I say I love it, then it'll endear itself more to me.
Yeah, somewhere back on Shippy, Leap Loop. I cannot wait for my friend Beep Boop to return so we can recommence the work.
Ugh. I'm definitely coming back now.
Yeah, I think Vitaria can definitely start in the background looking for scrying and like looking for a missing planet in the sky, and is preparing a scrying using Shippy.
Shippy's core.
Yeah, Shippy's core as a guide.
There's no
to
risk
try
to
to-
the object.
No, to try and find the verdant forge.
That's what we think.
Yeah.
And on my way back to Shippy, I want to talk with everybody.
Everything is a risk.
Isn't
Do-
isn't Beep Boop from one of these forges?
Yes, but not the Verdant Forge.
Not the Verdant Forge, though, right?
Thunder something?
Hey.
Thunder.
Hey, beep boop.
Yeah.
We're no longer under the protection of the
No,
Dark
the
Prince's
Bitter class.
blindness to scrying and spying.
Yep.
You feel
But-
like throwing up some protection for us?
I could definitely do that.
As long as we're doing some outwardly scrying, looking for things.
I could definitely
Hey.
do that, but the size of that is going to be pretty much the deck of Shippy.
Fair enough. Just thought I'd bring it up.
So I can do that for sure. It is 100-foot square, which takes up
100-foot square. Like if it's a cube, that would be Shippy.
Is it?
Yeah, Shippy's like 25 by like 80 feet.
what? It's 100 feet on each side. So yeah,
Yeah, that would cover Shippy for sure.
So I will cover Shippy in anti-scrying magics.
Mhm.
Nice.
So as long as you're on the ship, we could talk freely without worry of those bastards.
How about
No.
Victoria can cast a mind link on herself.
Nothing more I hate than the nanny state.
Speaking of, uh, are the Necrarchs
Getting cut
truly all going to Lumos? Because this battle is going to get very large very fast. And there are not as many of us as there once was.
If the Necrarchs are arrayed against the forces within Lumos, then enemy of our enemy might be our friend in that case.
Which enemy is that?
If the forces of Lumos, we would be fighting on the same side as the people within Lumos.
They're not necessarily our enemies, they're just vampires. There are
I
some
know.
vampires that you can trust.
Some.
I mean, I just made that argument
She's a
to
vampire.
Topple, so there better be some vampires that we can trust. I elbow you.
Yeah.
Some the opposite.
She elbows you back, and
I fly across the room.
Hey, how did we know that Shippy came from the Verdant Forge? I forgot.
Because knowledge is power. And also, it talked about it in the book, and we made assumptions after that in the book, and then I talked to Gray.
In your necro book? Or which book?
Yeah, the talk of that creepy guy that we found in the mountain.
The Flesh Shapers book.
Yeah,
right?
the Flesh Shapers book.
Aryan or what? Or
Aryan,
Aryan.
yeah,
Yeah.
Basically, right?
correct.
Adrian.
Aryan, Bozai, Aryan.
He's not a great guy, so you know.
It's just a good name.
Yeah.
Arms everywhere.
In his book, there was a picture of one of the seeds, and it was definitely, oh fuck, there was a picture of the fucking seed.
Oh.
Fuck, that's already in the book. Yeah, and so it looked like Shippy. I have to look back through my notes again. I'm so tired.
Right. Okay.
But
Aryan.
yeah, but also, do you think that we could get any help or further aid from Ketan in this fight? I mean, perhaps Philip Oman could send warriors of Ketan.
Topple will probably help us too, right?
Who are you
Well,
asking?
we'll have Topple, but
Who we're fighting against?
he thinks that well, since the Necrarchs may be converging on Lumos as well.
that's a lot of power. We might need help.
One and
Visigoth
really well.
Visigoth said he would have an in for us at Lumos, so we may be able to talk to them.
Yeah, but he can't come to Lumos, and I'm just thinking maybe he ran away with a sword, and Topple is on his ass about it, so they're mad at him.
Well, yeah, Topple's mad at
Someone.
But it'd be nice to know what the vibe in Lumos is more broadly with Visigoth.
I think we need to, before summoning a bunch of people to Lumos, we might want to check out what's exactly happening in Lumos.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, perhaps, that is correct.
No, LA SWAT team.
But also,
just blow up a whole container full of fireworks. Forget it.
I have no way of talking with any of those people back in Ketten, and maybe we should get them prepared to jump.
Azira can, and we can figure out how to talk to some of them.
We could probably find a fixer or two to get us in.
Well, if we reach out to like Vicente,
But if we want to mobilize units and get people on our side, we'll probably have to make some connections that our people don't are
Visigrath said he had an inn. Topple's not running everything.
They're not running
they're-
everything.
They're just a small agency.
They're against the leadership, but again, we may be able to play enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah,
That's a good
Uh,
plan, but I'm just saying, maybe have a backup plan of sending some forces our way.
No, agreed.
they may.
No. I'm not. I don't want to make it seem like I'm discounting it at all. No, I think that's a good idea too.
But if
I just think we have. I think we have options when we go there.
at least as far as Ivan knows, it seems like Topple is in the interest of Lumos surviving.
Yeah,
So
His version.
this may be disagreements over common cause as opposed to outright opposition.
Yeah.
mhm.
Um,
Fair.
that might be optimistic on my part, but I know that, well, Visigrath did say that he had a way of like introducing us to people in Lumos or have contacts there.
Well,
So that
let's reach out to him. I hear tell that there's a little help game somewhere in Ketten.
little help game. Don't say it like that.
It's what they
There's a
call
little
themselves.
thing in Verdura too.
See?
I don't know what was left of that little help gang.
I just
Well,
want to put on a black hoodie and a black plain cap and go like infiltration, like but like stick out. Like
Yeah.
a sore thumb.
Yeah.
Like we are not blending. We're still on.
You're blending in clothes or a tight black t-shirt and like a black trench coat that goes to the
Yeah, no, yeah,
Yeah.
totally conspicuous.
black turtleneck.
Yeah, just the dumbest way to do
sunglasses,
it.
even though they haven't been invented.
Yeah.
And they form renditions. They're just blocking my vision.
More important than my end can't see my eyes that I can see than I can see anything.
Yeah.
A finely tuned surveillance machine.
Looking
Speaking
like
of
a badass
invented.
running into walls.
have parachutes been invented? Can I start making some for my companions for when we're on Chippy? Some bug out parachutes.
Have not been invented. It would be a pretty novel creation,
That no one would trust.
particularly when there's like a world with like featherfall magic, where it's like, yeah, the parachute is just casting featherfall like right before you splat.
Training with parachutes. No one's getting into those death shoots.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have featherfall.
I mean, there's a video of like one of the first guys who tried to invent parachute jumping off the Eiffel Tower.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's out there.
I remember
You
that.
can watch it.
He definitely died.
I take it he was somebody who attempted and was not successful.
Not successful.
That's like those guys that have like bulletproof vests on themselves.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe-
look, I made a new bulletproof vest, honey.
Maybe try it on a smaller building, bro. I do have featherfall.
Like if the
That's
SpaceX
that time
rocket
for
hit
the
Elon
open.
Musk
Yeah.
right in the face.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
go from enough height that you have a.
Yeah.
But
But why don't you send it with like not a living human person, just like some
Yeah.
wind?
you can.
No, you
just,
gotta
like,
actually gotta
spin it.
open it once they're already falling. Like it needs to be a person. There's no other way.
It needs to be me.
Put yourself on a bungee rope.
They probably
rock.
did try it with animals, but didn't believe God was with them or something, so had to move on to
Yeah.
human testing.
Like the human body just has different aerodynamics through the ether.
The human soul keeps it afloat for longer.
Yeah. That would totally
She's
be
arrived! Yay!
it's the buoyant effect of the human soul.
We were just discussing the buoyancy of the human soul and how effective parachutes would be, despite them not being invented yet. You just joined us at the right time.
Just the right time for some real nonsense.
There was some joke in some show I was watching where the human soul must weigh like 0. Like 0.023 grams or something, and the other person was like, "You realize that somebody who came up with that just like weighed somebody and then killed them and weighed them again." So, like, that's a pretty shitty theory.
I buy it.
We must repeat this 30 times.
Definitely that.
Maybe those 23 grams was the blood that was left on me after I violently murdered them.
Nope.
That was probably their soul.
Definitely
Yeah.
their soul.
Definitely.
I mean, I'm sure we can find that scientist in Argentina and ask him.
Krieger!
Yeah. Yeah, this is a moment of absurdity for sure. We, Sarah, are back on Mount Ainaru,
Okay.
having completed the travel successfully and safely. Any
Okay.
long resting can be done.
Oh.
The party on the journey did have a little bit more conversation and stuff. Most notably, I think, with the Dark Star Prince,
Okay.
who I'll allow Xerox to fill you in on that info. But Xerox still summoned the Dark Star Prince, and you guys got a little more info about them and their relationship to the Loomis and the Prince Ventric there and stuff. But other than that, you guys are back on the mountain and getting ready to scry on the Verdant Forge using the Panopticon networks, spy satellite stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, if you would like to fill in on Darkstar stuff, Zero.
Yeah, my note taking but okay. I write slowly, Mark.
No, it's also just helpful for me to it's just like, oh, what did I actually successfully communicate, and like what people understand versus what I try and babble about.
So the first thing, Xerox confronted the Dark Star Prince about a similarly named entity being in our world. And the Dark Star Prince revealed that Ventric is actually his creation. Created at a similar Ventric is a similar entity created in a similar vein as what happened to Xerox. But Ventric is a vampire that was corrupted to the will of Orcus. I'm sorry, Mark. The whole uniting of Aurelius.
Yeah. That was the really out there part, especially. So yeah, I'm happy to go over some of that.
So
that was more like super old history stuff that had been shared in Shades previously.
Okay.
But there were the Dark Star Prince revealed, I think maybe like once again and in more detail, that there were back in the ancient times, there were two like warriors that were largely like 1,000 different worlds have this like a champion that arises to fight like the devils or like fight evil, and they like each of them like becomes like a thread or like a part of this unified like avatar that's like of like virtually deific powers, sent to go like into the hells themselves to battle evil in its most incarnate form. And that was all like during the time of that, like the real like collapse or like the breaking of the universe, where the abominations from the beyond broke through, and like there was that potential fracturing of the universe as like all the gods were in such great conflict in the material realm and all this stuff. So this is all like stuff that caused the separation of the planes and whatnot.
Okay.
So Asmon the Unity
Uh-huh.
became Asmodeus, and locally in your world, Ashkemadai.
Right.
What became the Dark Star Prince was I think I couldn't find the name, so I went with Aurelius because that sounded right, but it's actually Uriel. I did find the actual name for my notes. Thankfully.
Oh, okay.
Uriel the Undying and Asmond the Unity. Asmond the Unity became Ashemedai and more notably Asmodeus. Uriel the Undying became the Dark Star Prince and more notably Orcus.
Okay.
So the Dark Star Prince is basically your world's like, in a lot of ways, like your world's like a Shemedai, except didn't like go fucking completely evil and insane. Had a moment of just like when they were separated from that avatar form, when they were brought back to just like I am now once again like this piece of that. They in that moment of apparent near madness and like rage, they sought to empower mortals to to save themselves, to like make them powerful enough to fight these evils, but gave that gift to Ventric, who twisted it, who became, among other things, like he used like a lot of like the old soul magic of the world to like consume other souls and become more powerful. He became deeply twisted by the vampiric hunger and twisted by the words of the Necronomicon, which is the influence of Orcus in the world. Because Darkstar Prince is not fulfilling the role of Orcus in this realm, and so that kind of allowed because there isn't that same opposition. Like Ashemedai is largely kind of like keeping Asmodeus away in some capacity as they like play out the remainder of their story. The Darkstar Prince is not the stand-in for Orcus, or at least is not doing that. So the Necronomicon influenced the world in that power vacuum. And arguably twisted Ventric. Ventric was potentially already a huge piece of shit before, and like tricked the Darkstar Prince into giving them that gift. In any case, the Darkstar Prince is a fragment of, in a lot of ways, a fragment of Orcus, but not corrupted by it in that same way.
Okay.
So I hope that all makes a little bit more sense.
That makes a lot more sense. And basically, the Darkstar Prince sees this prior intervention for the mistake that it was, and is looking at our efforts as an opportunity to step in and finish and rectify the wrong that was perpetrated. They did, and they are waiting for the right moment to fully reveal themselves and their abilities and fully intervene at full strength, because they only have one shot at it. Otherwise, it will fade and the corruption will remain. They will have, and they will be kind of relegated to the same status as the five divines if they do it at the wrong time and their efforts are not successful.
Okay.
So with that, we have a pledge we can call upon that power when the moment is right. And they would be willing to step in such a circumstances, like take on a Shemadiah themselves. Bring their power into play to occupy the Necrarchs while we take the Wand of Orcus and use it to our purposes, that type of thing. But we have to be, we have to use a lot of discretion when we do that because we have one shot with it.
Okay.
And yeah, and we've also learned that Ventric is bound if they are still, they were interred and kept under wraps by underneath the Temple of Loomis, or not the Temple of Lathander in Loomis. So if their body is to be found, it is there, and that's where it's being kept. And the Wand of Orcus is being used in those efforts. So removal of the Wand of Orcus would basically take away the ability of that temple to keep Ventric bound.
Okay.
And he also revealed that.
All right, but what if we dig a big pit, put him in there, and then just like cement over it, a few thousand feet?
They might have already did that.
I know, I think.
You know, I bet the devourer at the center of the sun will also be hungry and looking for
I was just gonna say, maybe we can throw it into the sun.
Yeah.
all the bad things in the sun.
Feed the following darkness. Yeah. For the
Yeah,
vapor.
when in doubt, throw it into the sun.
Work for Superman's sword.
And he
300
also
years from now, when the sun is a giant landfill of giant monsters.
It's the future's problem. We won't have to
Yeah.
go. And he also revealed that I don't know if he revealed this or this was just something, but the 5 Necrarchs kind of work as phylacteries for each other.
Oh,
So
okay.
to completely destroy any of them, you have to destroy all of them,
At once or?
basically.
Not quite the exact same time. Like it's like kind of similar phylactery rules where it takes some period of time to reform. So it'd be like if you knocked them all out in really quick succession over the course of like a couple days, that'd probably do the trick.
Okay.
I reminded the party that like Ivan Heaven song of Topple, the enchanted sentient armor.
Oh
Wait,
yeah,
were
you weren't here last week.
time?
We got some more history
So,
for you.
yeah. Yes. Ivan Heaven song, Evan's character, was
Did we
actually
resurrect him?
suit of armor.
We did.
The person wearing the armor was absolutely dead, but you guys were able to talk to the armor itself, who convinced Gray to use reincarnation to bring back the person.
Okay.
They came back as a halfling, pretty, kind of annoyed because the armor was of this enchanted sentient relic that could have resurrected them the next day, but was in a hurry and didn't want to wait. So it just was like, yeah, reincarnate them. I don't care. Let's get the show on the road.
Yeah.
Shared, you guys learn more about Topple, the organization that Ivan was from. They're kind of an anti-vampire citizens brigade organization with a bunch of relics that among these, the sentient one. They're pretty critical of the vampires. They said that Visigoth stole the Holy Avenger and betrayed the city.
Oh, interesting.
And said that you can't trust vampires or any kind touched by that curse, as they
We all look
have
at
referred to
Xerox
the-
significantly at that point.
Nope,
Xerox
we
was
kept his
right downstairs
presence.
at that time.
Was away. We made an effort not to share our
Yeah,
vampiric connections.
but
Okay.
the other thing, Ivan said that he was working on a way to like specifically like bind or entrap the souls of the necroids when they're killed, so they're like at least temporarily incapable of reconstituting themselves.
Cool. I'm also
you
looking on a
know.
way to bind souls.
Yeah, I spoke through
Awesome.
Nazira earlier, saying exactly that.
Excellent. I hope you went on a wild tangent about metaphysical reality.
It's always implied. Insert tangent here.
Yeah, the Dark Star Prince got bored and he left.
Yeah, that you had specifically thought of basically the same idea as a way to trap, like the Whispered Litany or any of the elements of a Shemmadai, preventing them from returning to their hell dimension and reconstituting themselves. But yeah, I think that's most of what we've.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Keep the necroarchs from respawning.
Also, I left a whole list of things for you to legend lore. I put them in purple.
Excellent. Thank you.
But I was thinking it might be a good time for like a 5 or 10 minute break just
Sounds
as
like
Sarah arrives.
Right.
But next up, I think we'll get to what Beepoop set up previously, which was the scrying on the Verdant Forge, and then we'll go from there.
On a much smaller note, well, somewhat smaller note, our crew did
Oh, yeah.
disembark.
A much,
But
much
Ellis-
smaller note.
Almost not worth mentioning.
Vitaria is going to send them back to Ketten. This was more than they wanted when they signed up.
Oh, our crew left. No,
Yeah.
Ellis, how could you abandon us?
For the beginning.
It's true, they're cowards, not worthy of the name of hero.
We gave them good adventurer pay for their time.
They
working
gave
with
them
us.
100 gold
They
each.
didn't want to stay on Ainaru with the lobotomites.
They
That
brought
was
up the
not
point that they were just basically
particularly-
dodging being stomped.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's understandable.
it really is. So they're gonna head back to Ketten. But Ellis and I added her to my book,
Nice.
and she also gave me a sending stone. So
Nice.
we have a contact in Ketten for quick words back and forth, at least to a degree. And I feel like there was something else with that. Oh, we did learn that Sister Remember last week
Yeah.
was the one to pull the strings to run
Oh,
back
yeah.
to the dreamer.
Sorry about that. Yeah, Sister Remember was pulling strings across her.
Of
Yeah,
time.
her web of time or
Whatever it
her
is.
perspective of events to sick the Draculichanas by being able to see through scrying.
Oh, what a
and-
meanie.
So she scried on Ellis using a sending stone to send a message to her dad to
Mm.
get our location.
Right, which sick the Draculichanas, but like ultimately, like that dragon's a coward, so we're not too worried.
Yeah, I
At
mean,
least I recognize the yellow belly when I see one. I'm not too worried about it. What was
Why would she do that?
Oh,
Do we know why she did that?
he's pissed. You guys may know more than you're letting on about the location of her brother, but she wants her brother, and the dreamer is diametrically set opposed against that. Can't have her, or she can't have her brother back. It is what it is. I didn't get to.
and
If she has her brother back, she will be unraveled.
yeah, she specifically it said that while she is not evil, she has made the knowledge of her brother unavailable to herself.
No.
But then once she's got like a thread of how to find him, she cannot let go of that thread, and we are that thread.
Okay.
So kind of a problem, but she is not in herself evil. And not like evil to the world. Um, but there's something going on there, and we are sort of at the crux of her interest right now.
We also destroyed her library.
That probably didn't knock us any favors, but
Yeah.
you know,
I mean,
Yeah.
did we destroy it?
I don't know. We just messed around.
It seemed
We
like it.
left.
It seemed pretty destroyed when we
We
left.
messed up the entrance.
Is that the place that almost killed us?
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apple Bastion,
Plain
What do you
of
mean
bacon.
almost?
like the plane of
Almost
yeah,
killed 2 of
yeah,
us.
Killed a few of us.
yeah. I mean, we revived to tell the tale mostly.
After all our death, I'm seriously considering aura of life or death ward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Let's
still
go.
have a -3 to all of my
Yeah.
rolls
Why?
from being
Resurrection.
resurrected.
Oh yeah. We need to just sleep for 3 days, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
So
Also,
We could do that in game time too. So next few sessions will be a bit boring, guys.
right. Just avoid it. Just go sleep.
and Gray and the druids found out that there is a whole other world that is currently dead that the world tree was building.
Oh.
And there is a seed of life that was made to bring life back to that world. But people stole it. And
That's right.
that's all I would have told you about that.
Did you even tell us that much? You did tell us that much?
Actually, I don't think I've told anybody that much. I was waiting for Nazir to wake up to tell her most of it.
Ah, fair.
So
That
I
makes
probably
sense.
would have shared it with everybody at that point.
Big Words is a good person to tell big problems to.
Yup.
What happened to it after Beep Boop stole it?
It
Can you
disappeared.
just give it back?
It's gone now and in the hands of the Imperium.
Oh.
But I don't know how it got there.
Oh.
But I stole it from. Wait, hold on. Let me check my notes.
When did this happen?
A long time ago.
Yeah, it must have been.
Gray saw it when he was being the seed.
I see.
I stole it for a reason, but I didn't succeed in what I wanted to do, and I lost it. And I think I stole it from the Verdun Forge.
Oh, okay.
So that's why Beepoop was trying to scry on the Verdun Forge. And then send the mountain after looking for
That
this
makes
dead
sense.
world in the heavens.
That makes sense.
So if you could legend lore the seed of life, that'd be cool.
Yeah, definitely. If we have some days to do some stuff.
We don't have days. We gotta get to Luos before the world
Hey.
explodes.
We don't know what we have available.
Oh yeah,
Scary.
I do know that the life seed is being used by Ashemadai
Ah, no.
currently for some reason.
Or is at least in their possession.
Yeah, to be
Right.
they're using it to develop a demi or alternative plane of existence. To what end, I don't know.
Okay. Using the life seed to develop a special plane. Probably a special hellish plane, knowing them.
I mean, I would expect nothing less from those devils.
Exactly.
I thought it would be all rainbows and puppy dogs.
We're just fighting the Cenobites, so
Yup.
Oh goodness.
So yeah, I'm trying to use Inaru and all its powers to figure that out. Plus,
Yeah, for sure.
Shippy came from the Verdant Plane or Verdant Forge, so he's got something to do with it. Maybe.
Nice.
Or maybe we could use him just like the Life Seed. And I don't know if you were there when we talked about this, but I'm pretty sure this is what Bozai Arian also found or was looking for. Maybe
Who was that?
20s? Yeah, I got
the Flesh Shaper Bozai Arian, the book.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
He found some key, but I don't remember what that was. So
Our friend Bozo.
yeah, Bozai Arian.
So the way we're getting the clown. I mean, he gets clowned off by the flesh paper.
Yeah, but they're both tryhards.
Yeah. And from Leaf Loot's story, goes by left one last time to visit
Oh,
friend, the shaper.
Oh yeah.
have we been able to reactivate the other leap loop?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, with the dragon fight and the other stuff, it took a backseat for a moment, but yeah, that's I think another priority.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing while the Vitaria is trying to figure out how to scry.
I think that whole the whole library that we destroyed was created specifically for just finding her brother.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Hey, you're pretty smart. That's great. What's here around? Of course, they're putting that in here. Yeah, they did say that, didn't they?
Right.
And Mark, am I right in remembering that like these Sister Remember and her brother, they predated the normal pantheon gods?
Yeah,
So they're like primordial gods.
yeah.
Almost. Okay.
Spellcaster.
Powers is the more correct term.
How do you spell necrarchs?
Nechrarch. Wait, Necra? Yeah. Neck.
Yeah, no H, I think.
No H on the first one, H on the second one.
Necrarch.
Yeah.
NECKBEA.
Pretty much. I mean, I spelled it a different way every time I've written it, so.
DORK.
Gotta say, I'm quite
INCELS.
right.
All right. Yeah, so I think Nazira comes out of a state of just pure research and of foretelling the future. Madness, arcane madness
Absolutely.
once again.
Arcane madness once again. I have to deeply meditate at least once a day.
It's so deep.
Paying
or
off.
more than once a day.
Connecting dots my waking brain can't put together.
Yeah,
It's
it's
great.
like
Yeah, exactly.
deep
Reading
meditation.
4 books at the same time.
It's the flip side of being an elf. The reverie just comes on.
Yeah.
It's the flip side of being half human. Half dumb.
I described you earlier as speaking 3 different languages
Yeah.
simultaneously in your madness.
It's great.
But yeah, you guys can gather together. You guys are seeing to any like finishing up the rest, getting a meal in and whatnot. Addressing any like like it was a rough ride for Shippy, and there was Shippy's regenerating. And also Sarah, I updated the Shippy page on
Oh,
your
perfect.
archive with some
Yay.
info and a few tidbits here and there elsewhere, but not a lot. But mostly there's
Love it.
fairly reasonable or established should be effects and mechanic or rules. Yeah, Shippy has 8 intelligence.
Do we have a way? I'll ask Shippy actually. It's Shippy.
Okay.
Can we make you non-detectable through scrying, sort of like an amulet of non-detection?
I'm sure we can work something out. That's a magic that you can
Would
cast,
that
right?
be Bellstone or another sort of keystone?
That's a great question. Yeah, I'm thinking probably like that sounds like a Bellstone upgrade.
Okay.
To me. I think that would be like a similar like Bellstone upgrade to the like the invisibility one.
Yeah.
Where it would be like once a day you'd like have to cast like that spell onto Shippy, and then it would be like amplify the effect to cover Shippy for like 24 hours.
Okay.
So that'd be like isn't there a spell like protection from scrying or something?
There is. I have to figure out what it's called. I don't remember. I think it's a divine spell, so
That's different from what Beep Boop was casting?
Yeah, that's mind blank. So I
Oh,
think
right.
yeah,
either
Mind
one of
Blink
those
is real high
devices
level.
would serve the purpose. And like,
You cast something different than Mind Blank earlier. It had a big area around Shippy.
Oh yeah, is Joel back?
oh yeah,
Oh,
Joel,
hell
you
yeah.
back?
I'm here.
Hey.
I'm just reading through my notes about this key.
Now, I know there are amulets of this, so it would be similar effect to the amulet.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the spell would be called. Maybe
Yeah.
abjuration spell.
I think this is something that maybe I think I would probably maybe even put this outside the realm of requiring like a spell upkeep. I think that this is maybe like an upgrade that Shippy could take that would just be a permanent effect. I think I'd probably make it cost more than like getting the invisibility upgrade.
Okay.
But in that case, it would just be like, yep, Shippy is now like protected from scrying, and probably like a 30-foot bubble or something around Shippy.
Cool.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so that'd be a big, probably a big bellstone, a chunk of bellstone. I can't recall. I remember we decided on and like figured out what amount or like what was the bellstone cost for the invisibility upgrade, but now I can't remember what it was when we did like the workshop one.
I don't know if I wrote that down.
I
So
think
we
I wrote it
have
down,
that.
but hold on. I'll
Yeah,
look.
we don't need it in this moment, and like once again, like between the resources you have on board and like if you needed to, like Volkreath and Ketten and now Ordura at least are very like much on like, hey, we are effectively at war, and we need to adjust our our economy accordingly as much as there's an organized economy in this world. But like you could access more Bellstone than you technically like have if you really needed to. Like you could call up Volkreath and be like, hey, we need an extra 5 or like 10,000 gold worth of Bellstone. And they're like, we have the quarry. This is what we're doing it for.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It would be like them trusting you that you are using those resources, those very important resources, you know, wisely for the cause. Yeah, for Nazira, for filling out Nazira's grimoire.
Yeah.
But like that's like those are like sorts because of all the connections and things that you guys have done in the past, like those are sorts of things that you have access to as well. So I think that if that's something that you guys want to be doing while Shippy is in dry dock, I think we can make that happen without and like not worry over much about finding the exact amount of Bellstone you have and the exact amount of Bellstone the previous upgrade cost. Thanks to our poor note taking.
I think that
That's
would
another thing I
be
do
a
need
good
to add to
idea.
that sheet is like what upgrade costs. I did put in a section for upgrades and stuff, but yeah, putting in how much they cost, I think would be useful.
Nazira will also gather around all the spellcasters in the party. And she's going to say, all right, I have an idea. After the last battle with the Draco Lich,
You're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go sadly stand in the corner.
I think it should be possible to place glyphs around Shippy with spells loaded into them that can be released with a trigger word. So like we could have one that does flying so that if we get attacked like that again, we can easily go to it, release that spell onto ourselves or to our group, and then not be in danger of falling. Things like that.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, that's great.
Smart.
Glass in case of Dracula.
That's enough.
I
Yeah.
don't
That is-
know the spell for.
Genuinely, that is an awesome, a really awesome idea.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A great use of any amount of downtime, like particularly.
Mhm.
What are the limitations like?
Are you talking
There
about
are
glyph of
several
warding?
different spells. There are several different glyph spells that do that sort of thing.
I have access to glyph of warding.
Ooh, okay. That might be what we need. I don't know what I've never used these before, so I'm not exactly certain what the requirements are.
200 gold points worth of diamond or incense. Oh, wait, no, incense and powdered diamonds worth at least 200 gold points. We could use up some Bellstone if we felt like it.
Mhm.
Also, in my notes, I have 20,000 gold worth of Bellstone for some ship upgrades, and then 40,000 gold for ship wide. I don't know if that rings any bells, but that's what I have.
Yeah, so it's probably for the ballista upgrades, which were pretty substantial, and then 40K for the invisibility.
This is the workshop.
I
I
can't.
think 40K for the workshop.
I don't
Yeah.
know, but we did the workshop and invisibility close together. The ballista, I think we did earlier.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
ballista
Yeah,
was
the
the first.
book was a lot earlier.
Yeah, I think it was 20,000 for the invisibility and 40,000 for the workshop, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll put like generally we'll put like things that are temporary or require additional like fuel or things probably around the 20K point. And we'll put like permanent boons and stuff more at the 40K.
Mhm.
But this is, you know, definitely a little ad hoc. So if there's a permanent thing that you think is not that impressive, you can definitely argue for it to be a little cheaper or whatever.
I mean, like, what if we added this might be a glyph or some kind of wording, but like a tripwire, like a notice, incoming Dracolich warning.
An alarm?
Yeah, an
Advanced
alarm,
detection
an
system.
advanced alarm spell.
Advanced tuning for the fork.
That would be a good idea.
Although, Mark, we only have 24,000 worth of Bellstone at the moment, so those numbers might be off by a factor of 10, perhaps.
You mean like they could have been cheaper?
Well,
No.
I just
Or we're out of money.
we just don't have as much Bellstone.
I think you guys have spent. You guys had like
spent-
you guys had nearly like 100,000 gold worth of Bellstone or something at some point. It was like 80 or something thousand Bellstone.
Yeah, that's probably
So I
right.
think you guys have spent a substantial amount
Mhm.
on shippy upgrades.
I think so.
That's probably fair.
Because you guys got a huge amount from the quarry because you guys knew that you needed a lot for like spell components and like potential shippy upgrades. Like that was in the
Mhm.
zeitgeist
I think
back
we
when you were at
needed
the
some
quarry last.
initially. Did we need some initially when we got Mount Honoru going? Or was that all just
That was
Zephyr?
the Zephyr.
It was just the
primarily. Like,
Zephyr.
it was. I mean,
That's right.
when Mount Honoru was already kind of going, and it had some stores of what it needed.
From
But yeah,
Zephyr.
it runs on Zephyr.
Oh
primarily.
yeah, we used to have 1,000 pounds of it. So yeah,
Yeah.
we've used a lot.
Yeah, what you like? You guys were like brought on like just crates and not crates, but like pallets and pallets of this stuff. And now it's just like if you like look in the storeroom and there's just like half of one left.
Alice?
The crew
I
getting
also
all
agree with
excited,
blaming
you know,
her.
just like with backpacks full of Bellstone and Zephyr.
Like write a little message to Zealous. You got
Yeah,
it right.
on too. They're fucking idiots.
We're looking at ourselves.
We were okay with the paper clips and the occasional pens. Walking out with our Bellstone. Come on now.
All right, glyphs can hold 3rd level or lower spells.
If you cast it at a higher level, you can.
Oh, you
You
can
can
put in a
create-
higher.
Yeah. If you create a spell glyph, you can store any spell up to the same level slot you use for the glyph of the spell.
Wow,
Oh.
that's awesome.
So we could have like a doomsday spell in the back. It's like we have the fuck shit up button in the back.
A
Shippy
ninth
needs a
level-
self-destruct button.
Yeah, like a 9th level one of these holding a wish that is just
Oh,
like
my
the
goodness.
doomsday option.
Yeah.
Two of us must like activate it at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a 2-man rule.
What's at the back?
No.
The shippy's already split in half and the parts are falling away. You're like 100 yards away, like looking at each other. No!
Wow.
Instantly restores.
Every time we deploy away from Shippy, Nazira has the nuclear football.
Pretty much.
Okay. So updates for Shippy.
We should think of the funniest possible thing we could do to an enemy just randomly and just have that
We should.
Yeah. I mean, you could just, well,
one. Something incredibly annoying.
High
but
level
not-
polymorph is always
yeah,
funny.
I'm more into like the unhelpful thing.
Just the first thing that comes near us gets turned into a giant whale and just starts plummeting out of the sky.
Not this again.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Let's
Yep.
add us.
One of
I'm
them will get
adding a
turned into a whale,
sub-tab.
one of them will get turned into a vase of flowers.
Exactly. Oh, Shippy upgrades.
Just have one do magic missile at 9th level for whatever reason.
Alright, I added a sub-tab under Shippy that is Shippy upgrade ideas, so we can
Oh, nice.
peruse the spell list and see what we want to add to it. Add to Shippy.
Excellent.
Also under enemies, I added the beginnings of a like mind map of all the baddies we know.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
But
good. Nice.
I have not actually fleshed it out very much yet.
Mhm.
But I thought it might be helpful to sort of connect the dots with some
Yeah,
of
like
these.
visualize.
Yeah, a little
Excellent.
visual way to think about them.
Excellent. Excellent.
Oh, yeah, a lot of my notes, like, I definitely did a, like, couple mind map things, like, when I was, like, putting together some of the pieces I had gardened in developing this campaign.
Yeah. It's definitely incomplete right now, but and I just deleted it.
Quill's got bits of red yarn connecting them all to pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the below, like, the rooms below and Chippy is just the conspiracy boardroom.
Yeah.
Um,
It's just a drawing, so if you click on it, you can enter it and add stuff.
Willa, have you gotten an update from your family yet about
I
their
didn't have a way to reach them until you were
nefarious plot?
alert.
Mhm.
I was thinking of asking Bataria or you to help us scry. And then I was gonna try to just get an update on the situation and then maybe ask my grandmother to keep us posted.
And out of character real quick, Mark, you said Ketan and Urdura are basically at war now with the Imperium?
Like Valkyries and Kennen and Ordura, at least as far as like their like leadership and like their understanding is just like they're very much of the understanding that it's only a matter of time between now and when there's open conflict with the Imperium. So they're like basically doing much more willing to do really drastic things, including like, yeah, you get access to more Bellstone than you technically have earned or whatever.
I think we need to hold a war council and also involve your family somehow so that they don't continue with their insane plot.
If we invite my father, I think we're inviting the litany.
Right, so we invite your grandmother or something. Or we take
Or
other
none of her
drastic
family.
more drastic measures against your father.
What's going on at the time?
Or,
I'm gonna kill her dad.
Her father's
We-
a traitor.
yeah, I discovered that the Whispered
Sorry.
Litany is.
Uh,
Oh, it's okay. I mean, yeah, he's in league with Whispered Litany, maybe being controlled by her, unclear. But can't trust his
He's-
interests.
Turning our plans for the arcane circles over to the Imperium. Which worries me.
So yeah, we can't let them have full control over it. But I think I should reach out and ask my grandmother to be our contact on the ground.
Yes. Additionally, my own family, my father told us that things were getting difficult in our area of the world as well. So
So we know
think
that
the sooner we put these disparate alliances together.
not only like we know of their influence in Kessen, we know Valkyrie, we know Urdura. Now we know that Pasa has been infiltrated. And we know of at least some influences. What's the ocean town? Skopje had some run-ins there as well. They've got their tendrils all over the free cities.
Give me a history check.
That's lovely. That long history. Didn't know that. But I'm good at history. 50.
15?
Yeah.
Yeah, this, as opposed to many of the roles we make in this game of like knowledge intentionally secreted
Yeah.
away by ancient primal deities or whatever.
Yeah.
this is a normal commercial interest and like places you travel to roll. And 15 was good enough. You know that like in Trebizond, it's one of the cities, furthest, I don't know my map, but that's
but-
like one of the ones like actually on the coastline.
On the coast
Yeah.
as well. I think it's at the base of the river.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm mixing up the Twins. No,
Yeah, the
Twins
Twins
are
is more
upriver,
inland.
yeah.
Yeah, Trebizond is like the biggest and westernmost coastal city in the Free Cities. It is also like Ordura, a site of major conflict in the last short war with the Imperium, where Ordura defeated or effectively just destroyed a large amount of the Imperium's assembled forces through destruction of terrain. Trebizond, their navy inflicted like huge damage to the Imperium's like ocean going fleet within the like river delta and stuff, doing lots of like novel to the Imperium, very novel tactics and whatnot. So those are the two main sites of the conflict, and I think that Quilla maintaining some, historic contact and experience. Like Trebizond was one of the first places that you went that you saw the coastline.
Yeah, I think that's where I shipped out of
Mm-hmm.
when I first went to sea.
Mm-hmm. And you think that the Imperium would have some difficulty infiltrating and like converting such a proud independent city. And like through the contacts that you have, you've heard that like there are these like really powerful like adventurers and stuff that have escaped the Imperium, fleeing some horrific, it sounds like Imperium activity in a place called Othello. And like they worked with the city of Trebizond, and like it seems that they're like fertile ground for awareness and resistance to the Imperium's activity.
Okay.
So
Nice.
so there's some reason to be potentially hopeful for what's going on there.
Yeah.
I think from what I remember your father saying, Quilla, it was the hopelessness of not having any allies or any movement on against the Imperium that drove him toward them.
Yeah. Doesn't feel like we're doing our work fast enough, I think.
Right. So I think that if we held some sort of council of our allies, they could start working while we are off with our adventuring. They could start working on our behalf in these other cities, trying to wrest control from the Imperium. And it would also help them all understand that there is a resistance to the Imperium and feel more secure in that alliance. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think let's reach out to my grandmother and make sure we can do this in a way that we don't feel like we're unnecessarily increasing our risk. But father would probably be a prominent enough figure to be a good representative from PASA.
Yeah, I don't know whether we should invite him or not, or your grandmother, and then just have her relay information to him as per
that might be
necessary.
I mean, I have some people in PASA that I've made up, but I don't know if you have other people in PASA that would be.
I mean, there's definitely the Vance.
No.
Okay.
Not Vance. I don't trust him for a second.
Yeah, there's like definitely some like other merchant families and like nobility, like significant players and possibly that have some that would be potentially worth
Yeah.
in
Okay.
aligning with.
I think we need Yeah, I think if we can have at least a representative from each city or,
Mhm.
representative or two, then that's a good idea.
And our friends in places like Ketten would know um the leaders of the twins and all the other cities that we haven't reached out to.
Mm-hmm. What should we put on a show and host folks at Mount Honoré?
Oh, that would be
That,
Our play.
that is, I like it, but suddenly like
It's so bold, it's so
info
risky.
info
but-
security becomes a big deal about
Yeah.
who we can control and what
Yeah.
they can say. and who-
Also, security. This mountain is very
All of us-
big.
I mean,
All
if
the
somebody
problem
wanders-
people being in one location at one time.
Oh.
I mean, we killed everybody on the mountain once. I guess we could do it again. I mean, did I say that?
Yeah, I
Um,
heard it. I don't know who said it.
we
Zero
repair.
just starts laughing
Yeah. I mean,
and feeling bad at the same time for laughing.
Yeah.
that one's practically a death trap if you wander off. So it's not like I don't know,
It's true.
but
Neutral ground that we control.
yeah.
Protect them from Mount Ida.
It would definitely be a power play.
You just took a bunch of people there to be safe. Doing that.
But it's also a place we can defend. Like,
Hmm.
or are they gonna, or we hold it on Shippy?
They keep killing my houseplants.
We could
Or
hold it.
Chippy.
The big. Do you have to help,
I
gang?
think,
Like,
Big, do you have to help gang?
is there any way it could be like a pseudo virtual?
Do we have mass sending?
I mean, eventually you do, like through Mount Inaru and the Panopticon network, you can
Back here.
fast sending to basically anybody you want, anytime with that.
But it would be nice to be able to like have a big discussion where everybody's face to face. I
Yeah.
mean, the emotions and I think Quilla would really emphasize this, the emotions and the ability to be face with people is huge. And I struggle.
Communication with 25 words or less is not sufficient.
No, I mean, no offense, Nazira, but I think we need to have a little more nuance at play if we're gonna
Agreed.
conduct a whole war council.
International diplomacy over Twitter.
I like the idea.
At a certain point, the resistance does have to kind of get their plan together.
Drain the swamp. Come on, let's do it on Twitter.
If we have it in a place that we've got protected as much as we can from scrying, and
We can
Uh,
teleport them to and from so they don't know.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And when
like we could even
move
do it
for the one,
on the.
we need to be
All right,
ready. to
Ryan,
make a move.
Ryan, can you start again?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I can't quite hear you.
It is me, Ryan.
Sorry. I was thinking that's a good idea, and if we make a move for the wand, we need to be ready to make a move for the other one, right? That
Exactly.
the Empress has.
Yeah,
This would help with that. I think that's great.
So it seems we need to do, as far as the wand goes, we need to do the 5 necrarchs and then make a move for the wand and immediately for the rod. So when we undertake this, it is going to be a very
Yeah.
difficult slog.
yeah,
Correct me if I'm wrong. We have a lot of open political things to in discussion here, right? As far as the city of Ketten and like, our Loomis and like what we're dealing with as far as like personnel on the ground. We're talking about forces, like large swaths of groups and militia kind of convening. I'd like to get a human assessment. We're here at Inaru. I'm gonna reach out to some Inarunians if any of them have found themselves on the adventure side, now they've been on this rock for a little while.
Lobotomites? Yeah.
I'm not calling them lobotomites.
Yeah, the Einrunians, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, Einrunians, way better.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
lobotomites.
You call them what you want. I know what they are to me.
Yeah.
I approach them as such. So I call them Einrunians. See if they correct.
Maylunites.
If they want,
Maylunites.
if they want, that's
Even
right.
better.
They don't have to worship.
Yeah, that's not how
It's the
Strongly
religion of the
suggest-
mountain.
people was out there aggressively
I know.
canvassing.
Yeah.
First of all,
No, I'm just gonna see if there's any that are interested in maybe doing some groundwork for us in the city. Just some light reconnaissance, get an idea of like where the people are at, like what areas we should avoid if there's like a large scale kind of.
Oh, in Loomis?
Yeah.
Oh, like put in a forward
Yeah.
forward behind enemy lines.
Ooh,
yeah.
that's
To
cool
scout
idea.
it.
Yeah.
We should have recruited Clyde for that.
Maybe Ellis could do that. And then get turned into a
I mean, like, the old
vampire.
crew, too. Like, hey, we still
Yeah.
need you. We appreciate you've been with us this whole time. We
Our old crew does not want to go on an adventure.
are still offering the bonus.
You can ask.
I mean,
That yeah.
I reach out to the group that's there and I attempt to persuade with
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Guys,
I think part of this give me a persuasion roll, and we'll see we'll bring if this is good enough, we could bring some of those people in as just as part of this conversation to ask a few questions and figure out if this is something they'd be interested in.
Can Beep Boop absolutely not assist with this role because he will have no sway?
22. The rest of the crew, aside from Ellis, are no, I'll say Ellis and one other member. I'll say Tomothy. Ellis and Tomothy. One of the others that did end up getting a name through time.
Wasn't there a Jimothy as well?
I don't remember if there was. I think there were
Jimothy and
I
Tom.
think it was Jimothy. It was some dumb name.
Timothy and Tomothy.
Ellis and Tomothy are potentially pretty keen on this idea. They're Ellis is just starts asking questions about what you guys know about Loomis and do they speak common there? Will we be able to blend in? What sorts of information? Popple? That guy was weird. Do you want us
Yeah.
to look into them?
We'll see how they're received in the area. Maybe reach out to them once you get a positive ID on what the info is and isn't.
Yeah.
Let's
They're-
spry on Loomis too while we're
Yeah,
talking about this.
they're- them, and I think at least I think X and X I think would be down. He's like, hell yeah, I'll be up for a little adventure. Maybe for the good of all, just put some back in the world.
Yes.
Hell yeah, that sounds like a good old time.
Your pay is you'll be paid accordingly as with this bonus.
Well, I don't know what bonus you're talking about, but that sounds just fine to me. I haven't been paid. I don't know how long.
Seems like a good opportunity then.
All right.
Really established
This is
currency on
the
Nairo.
commission-based proposition.
Yes.
We deem the information useful. You will be paid a percentage.
It's mostly bonus.
Mostly just connected. I start talking like X and X. Mostly
They'll
just
be
make
paid on
you'll have to look
commission for every bit of information they give us.
counting.
Oh, I hear that. I know how it goes. You find them bean counters, count the beans.
That's right.
We'll talk business. They'll count the beans.
That's right.
So you get a handful of crew that would be potentially interested in doing some civilian reconnaissance of
Nice.
Loomis.
Cool.
Do just regular commoners go to Loomis on a regular basis?
This would be, from what you understand of Loomis, this would be very much like Loomis is a huge city from what you've heard, from Topple, from Ivan Hemensong and stuff, and has surrounding areas and whatnot. But it would be very much blending in as a local, like, sort of task.
Yes.
Like, it wouldn't be
I-
like, I'm a pilgrim from far away, because it's like, how do you get past all the undead?
I imagine that if Loomis is like anywhere else in the waste, that it's constantly having refugees come in as well, as storms roll through villages and
No,
Lord knows what else.
my brain was just like City of the Undead. We're just gonna send some commoners over.
Yeah, right. It's just skeletons, zombies, and ghouls.
I didn't realize
Are you pretending to be a zombie?
A city run by vampires, and it's just like,
hey, the vampires in the city. You want to check it out, bro?
no,
I saw 3 people out there during the day.
Yeah.
don't worry.
Beat Boop's gonna get started making some silvered weapons for anybody who's interested in going. Let's get the shop working.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Smart.
Yeah, that's handy.
Especially if they're going to be talking to Topple, having some anti-vampire weapons, probably get them in the door better.
Yeah.
Like it.
Send them
No.
what we know.
Yeah, give them all a brief dossier, a little bit of what we know, a little bit what we come across.
As long as
What-
we're thinking about this sort of thing, we could feasibly hire other adventurers to explore some of these other threads that we have going. Craig Spires needs to be looked at. We need to see if we can find the bullet to help repair the hole in the crystalline sphere. We could send them as emissaries to the free cities. We also need to hire more security for this mountain, especially if we're going to host a soiree.
I say get Philip Oman on it. He could be
Yeah.
our mouthpiece, and he can use his wizards to send them here.
Who was Philip Oman again?
Isn't he like he's like the dude that we have at Valkreath?
He's
Or
like
no, not at Valkreath, at
Ketten, right?
Ketten.
was he the priest? There was another one too who was like an Indiana Jones type.
That's what's empty.
Yeah, Philip Oman is from Valkyrie. He did
Oh,
give you like
Valkyrie,
connections. He's like the priest of Ogma, the like god like
Oh,
craft
that's
and
right.
stuff in Valkyrie.
That's right.
He
Talked
gave
about
you
second session, I think.
yeah, it's super long ago. He also ended up giving you guys a connection to the Thieves Guild in Ketten, so he's definitely like
That's right.
kind of got his ear to the you know the ground,
Yeah.
finger to the pulse of society in some ways or something.
Yeah.
Probably reads-
Walks in different circles, sort of vibe. But yeah, he's from Valkyrie primarily, but is definitely like has some connections and it just seems to have a good head on his shoulders generally.
I understand Shippy is one of a kind for sure, but do we have anything else like a spacefaring vessel on this rock or no? I know
And
that-
there an arcane circle on this mountain.
Ooh,
I believe there is like yeah, there's definitely been confirmed that there's a teleportation circle on Mount Ainaru itself.
That's
Perfect.
if we wanted to send our
Yeah.
friends without there any connections, isolate the communication just in case we decide to get scryed on again. But
Mhm.
realistically, send them without having to show up in the boat. Like, hey, a bunch of weird strangers showed up and a ship showed up too. Like,
Yeah, so like Mount Ainaru can definitely be a target of a much more accessible teleportation magic.
that could be handy.
Yes.
We could protect the area around the teleportation circle and then protect Shippy
Mhm.
and just have people come straight from the circle, kind of show them the grandeur of the mountain or the wildness of this place, and then take them to Shippy for the meeting where if we have our incantations all in place, if we protect Shippy,
Unless there's
and
a
then-
more appropriate place here on the mountain.
I don't even know if I trust all of the mountain. Let's just put bags on their heads and walk them to the boat.
I'm gonna.
I don't
Is
want to put
there-
that on anybody's head. I mean, I get it, but
I mean,
Teleport them somewhere that isn't on Shippy, just to put bags on their heads and walk them onto Shippy.
But I'm gonna consult the schematics and see if there is like a
grand room.
ballroom or grand room or something like that in Mount Inaru.
Parliament chamber.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like you spent a little time looking into the schematics and stuff while, you guys are talking biz with the, potential crew members going into Loomis and stuff, what that would look like, and like assembling a war council for the free cities. You think like you find pretty easily that, yeah, there are innumerable like locations and like, what would be really potentially like breathtaking vistas and stuff. All along the external portions of Mount Inaru. Like this mountain was, especially the outer edges, was very much meant to be a very comfortable and luxurious living space for people, and that included huge like ballrooms and stuff with like that were like open to like with this like potential to be like exposed to the exterior space and sky and like views of the world below.
Ooh.
So like
Um,
it would take a little bit of effort to like uncover and prepare those spaces,
Uh-huh.
but like those are
Imagine
Make
yeah.
sure they're not
Imagine this.
haunted.
We bring everyone to this grand ballroom, and then at a certain point in the dialogue, in the diplomacy, the discourse, we open it to the space above, and they can see not only space but the Earth as well, the planet.
Just stunting on them.
That
Making
would
them look
be just
stupid.
like yes,
Look at my new
They don't even know they're in space.
exactly.
And you open the window and you're like,
Uh-huh.
hey, check it out. That's a
Oh.
little, I don't know.
we're
Oh,
like
I
the-
think
Sorry,
that would
guys,
be
we can't get
fantastic.
control of these windows.
But we're
like,
trying. But
We
we're
are
trying to show them. We're trying to show them that we have the power to stand up to the Imperium.
We are, and the mountain is a huge asset for that.
Hmm.
And truly, is there anything more breathtaking and humbling
Truly, truly.
than
That
seeing your entire world in a single breath of your eye?
True.
No, would that not inspire everyone to consider the frailty of their own existence and the need for unity in these dark times?
or
I like the way you think, Leap Loop.
exactly. Me too.
I kind of wandered up here because Beep Boop was busy with something else for a bit.
Damn it, I said chain him down.
Zero waits for Leap Loop to continue and then says, "Well, welcome."
One passes and he says, "Thank you, my friend."
I think. All right, we contact Philip and we contact Vocente looking for hirelings.
And Jacob and
It's a
still.
shame. What was that?
Is Jacob one of the good guys?
Still.
Jacob Instel. Yes.
Jacob Instel the Fourth, who is, doing some good work and trying to make amends for how shitty Ketten's been for everybody for a long time.
It's Jiku and Sel, Vicente, and who is the Valkyries guy?
Talking about Philip Oman.
Philip Oman. I think I was switching him and Jacob in my head. Finn.
Because we would also want, if we were going to go for the shock and awe, then we would want guards. We would want this place to look like it was well guarded as well.
Well, here's the thing.
Like
I
we don't
don't
want
think,
them to walk through an empty corridor.
but maybe we do, because I think it's okay if we show them the newness of this power. that we've recovered this, but that this is just us. Like this is just the big Help King and a handful of people we've helped or run into along the way up here. Like, I think authenticity is the way to go here.
All right.
Like this is something that the free cities can help build together. And like, let's wow them with the potential of this place. But let's also,
You want the free cities up here,
well,
like to govern this place at some point? I thought we wanted this to be a sanctuary for
the free
Malin.
cities all govern each city governs themselves. Maybe Mount Inaru is a fellow ally, ready to
Mhm.
be built.
Exactly.
I'm not asking for them to rule this place, but I want them to see it as a new place, someplace that people that don't feel at home where they're at can start fresh.
For the start of a new kingdom that would rule over all of the free cities from space
Yeah,
and
no,
threaten.
yeah.
Another city, my God.
I just see it. No, okay, yeah, no, I hear you.
Game bent on
I
domination.
no
But we don't want-
domination.
But we don't want them to feel unsafe here, like there's a deadly plant or
No.
sofa that's going to eat
Well,
them over
well,
in
that's
every
the
corner of
closest
every
space they're
room.
going to.
I was thinking we should keep it simple, like
I agree. We need to keep it simple. We are a small and fragile movement. There are a lot of possibilities. We have the opportunity to strike a great blow, but we need to all work together perfectly at the same time and reminding everybody that this is a fragile thing. We probably only have one shot at this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of possibility here. We want people to see like the potential, like Chloe was saying, but we don't want them to be, we don't need to put too much into the
Display of
show.
power. Yeah.
I mean, it speaks for itself.
It speaks for itself, I think.
All right. So do we want to scale it back then to a smaller briefing area or
Eggs on heads on the boat.
Just want tanks rolling down
They
the
don't
street.
need to know anything too much about the mountain. They don't need to know too much about what the big help gang actually is. We need to impress upon them, though. We need to work together. I think the mountain can do that. I also think we don't know much about the mountain either. We know what we know and not enough. So making it kind of the
part of the
centerpiece.
reason? Oh, go ahead.
I just see it as like making it the centerpiece of our negotiations, kind of overplaying our hand when realistically we just need them to come together
Mhm,
and talk
mhm.
and get like we can get grandiose once we know we can trust who we can trust.
Yeah, and I think if we're bringing people to the mountain, we should be particularly selective in who we
Absolutely.
bring up
Agree,
here.
absolutely.
So maybe not every leader, but certainly the ones we know that are on our side that we can
Yeah.
work with. Anyway, my
Those
life,
that we feel are most trustworthy.
Yeah.
Could come.
not everyone come over. You know, it's just cool people.
Well, just invite the cool kids.
Just the cool kids. Dude. Don't bring over those.
I think
Oh.
most
those
of these
dorks.
places are places that the Big Help Gang has helped out of a jam. So
Yeah, a lot of these places are people we know.
not
We just
gonna
won't
be
bring that. We just won't bring that
against us right
calendar
away.
back.
Yeah, Galuin. Valkyrie, one of the lords of the.
They're gluing.
We
It's
still,
not
I
my
think,
thing.
I think we
Bogdan,
still
so.
do need some
Yeah.
assistance clearing this place out.
Yeah, but if
so-
we, yeah.
Make ellipses to it.
Now they're making omelets for everybody.
Yeah, well, hey, go check this area for monsters. Sorry, I'm joking.
Close like defensive.
No, I'm sorry.
Such a bad time with our crew.
Right.
I think we need to, shift our humor. a little bit.
Scale back tormenting them. All right, I
Yeah,
hear you.
yeah.
Please.
Oh, it's gonna be the big helping. We gotta.
We
I'm
gotta
sorry.
help.
Car rush. This is a big mountain flying airship. You know, it's great.
X Max says, Well,
Oh, you said-
my mom, when she was setting the table, it always depended on who was coming to dinner and how she would set to impress, you know?
It's true.
Whether it's the vicar or some wealthy, well-to-do,
Mhm.
you're gonna put out different cloth, different china.
Your finest mind.
China.
China. That went trophy a little bit there.
That's the only way to say that now.
No, yeah.
That's
So-
Okay.
Maybe knowing who y'all are planning on hosting will I was going Canadian or something. We'll help you determine what approach.
Good point. We'll figure it
That's
out.
true.
You gotta figure out
So-
who is in our who we can trust.
So we can
All
establish
right.
this list.
Yeah.
And then go from there.
Yeah.
But I think
Coordinating.
Shippy and in the mountain, or Shippy on the mountain, or one of those two might be our best bet. But yes, let's hold that until we know who.
I would like Shippy to remain our secret.
Should be
People already know
As a-
about Shippy.
Some people do, but I don't think there's a reason to advertise that we have a mobile platform like Shippy.
well, Sister Remember already knows, and so does that damn coward.
And pretty much everybody
But-
in Valkyrie.
Valkyrie, I'm not worried about.
Leaflet, sync jet, all three.
Yeah. We should have mentioned that too.
No, but like we should, if we're gonna do this, like we have a lot of things we'd like to accomplish. We should decide where we're going, and then we can have our wish list that they can help us with, so that we can flesh out our tactics here.
Well, I think
Mhm. I agree.
responsiveness is probably our best bet. We need to probably be within range of the city to know when things are happening. Being a day away isn't great if we need to act quickly. So someplace nearby, we need to set up covertly. I would
So heading towards Loomis while our operatives are there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Get operatives there, start the communication process, get set up. And
Let them know that we're headed this direction. This is a general our plan, and then
we've heard these things,
we've heard these things.
we're taking interest.
Okay.
So don't lead on completely, but definitely, make relevant information to the most trustworthy that we know of so far that we're inbound. And ultimately find a safe house to lay low with a giant flying airship.
So we need to outfit these people that we're sending to Loomis.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get them something. We're working on silvered weapons. Probably have to get some idea of what they're wearing in Loomis right now.
Yeah. So we should
So
scribe.
sending them to Loomis would be a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scribe on this.
I can cast Scry. It's my best bet. Who'd have something from Loomis right now? I don't think I've been there. I don't know, but
None of you guys have been.
None of us have been
to
to Loomis.
So wait,
We can
this
use
is took some sword, right?
Visigoth has the Holy Avenger.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
but can't we use Shippy? Not Shippy.
The Noctipon
Mount
Atlas.
Iron. Yes.
Yeah, Mount Inaru is
Mount
capable of
Iru can
scrying.
scry on locations, right? Because of the Atlas. So we can do it
I
through.
think like scrying can do a location.
Yeah.
By the spell wording, I think.
I'm gonna look at it
You
right
do a
I remember-
location, but not an object.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a person
Location or a person.
because there's like find object magic and stuff as well. But
Right.
Even though it's only for 1,000 feet, so it's kind of
terrible,
pointless.
yeah. Yeah, it's like if you happen to be, it's like even if you're in like a maze-like structure, that could still lead you in the wrong way. Like it's
Absolutely,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But so yeah, you guys could definitely take advantage of the scrying. And I think like we'll say like right around now, Vitaria comes in, or you guys I imagine are aboard Shippy, having this conversation and figuring things out. Vitaria comes in over like a messaging through Mount Inaru and speaks to you at like the dock and like aboard Shippy, and says, I cannot see Beat Boop among you. I assume he's below. Would you mind informing him that I'm ready to perform scrying on the verdant forge?
Oh yeah. Beep boop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
Uh, I'm
Clang, clang.
um
Silver swords down there.
Yeah.
we're ready to scry on the verdant forge.
To be right there. Yes, Leap Loop. Yes. Leap Loop. Yeah. I'll be right there.
My
right.
friend! And does this mean your work on my companion will be further delayed?
No, I've got 10 squared working on it. And yes, bye. I'll be back.
I look forward to your return.
Oh my god, did he throw him off? Did he throw him off?
Who's
Yeah.
in charge of
I-
Valkyries?
I run upstairs as fast as possible.
Yeah, you go up to board upstairs aboard Shippy, and then head up to the elevator from the like dock up to the Panopticon array up at the top of Mount Inaru. What were you asking, sir?
I said, who's in charge of Valkyries?
There's a council of lords that now that you guys helped kill Elgar Brimfallow has been kind of reconstituted with Galuin Bogda. I think Helen Barris is still on it, and then there's like other representatives now. They're like kind of like building a like guild, like workers guild, like representation and stuff in there as well. Like Valkyrie and Ketan are both in the process of like rebuilding and like changing their their governments, and doing so with
After they were so easily
Imperium
corrupted.
being breathing down their neck.
I didn't vote for him.
Good, then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Valkyrie
That's
like was
annoying.
built with a lot of investment from the Imperium and stuff, and so it's like required a lot of just like, well, what do we do now that like all of that source of money and like support is gone, and we're like now not working in the interest of these, forces and stuff.
It's a big help game, not the big figure out game.
Exactly. That's why the NPCs deal with that bullshit in the background.
Politicians.
Unless we want to get into feudal magical government simulator.
I definitely want to, but I don't think, I think I'm probably the only one here.
You're telling me the Big Help Gang has left a trail of just infrastructure destruction along its way?
Yeah, for the most part.
That's about
But
right.
it was evil infrastructure for sure.
Just
Um,
cleaning the plate to start.
Built with blood.
Yeah.
Hey, we killed the demons.
Um,
Clean drinking water, that's your problem.
You have a spell for that.
It's not for free.
But yeah, anybody else heading up to the Panopticon array?
Yeah.
with-
Yes,
Goals.
yeah.
Well,
Nazira's
there's a server up there, I'll
writing
go up that way.
writing a list of possible invitees and other to-do lists as she walks towards this.
Don't forget to invite
More like
Bogda.
party for you guys. What's this about?
Yeah. A masquerade ball for all the war councils.
I'm not dressing up.
And our identities are all
Coming in armor or shirtless. That's it.
Do we-
Don't
Do we-
worry, my people will be dressed enough for all of us.
Do we think that Vogta would come and do security for the mountain Xerox?
That's right.
For the meeting?
I'm sure she would be more than interested to at least take a look around.
Wasn't, we could have.
Around your living
one of those
quarters, maybe.
droids. We had the security droids on Inaru.
I mean, I would blush, but
Where are they going?
Get it?
Cheeks just go paler.
Yeah, I don't know if there are any still working constructs or magical entities that
Yeah.
can
Also, she might
provide
just be.
security.
Right.
Thinking like invisible warriors sometimes will be conjured, things like that, but I don't know. We really need to do an inventory of Mount Ainaru,
I'm working on it.
but it's so big.
It's huge, and we've been in a bit of a rush.
I'll
a few days.
I'll touch base with the Inarunians and see what they've come across since they've been here. Hasn't been very
It's
long,
only been, yeah,
but just see.
36 hours or so.
Yeah,
And Doppelzox.
yeah.
Yeah. What else have we learned? What else have they learned while we've been
We're gonna
gone?
get jumped while we're here. We shouldn't bring people here.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
They're gonna be like, you've
Can't
been
imagine they
gone for
could.
like 2 days.
I know, that's why I kind of think we should almost just beam them here, take them in the elevator straight to Shippy or something, or to a port.
Honestly, yeah.
But yeah, if we don't want to reveal Shippy, that's the problem too.
Definitely have to protect the entrance of any kind of inbound.
I think we tell them that this mountain is not entirely safe, and going off the directed path is at your own peril.
Mhm. Yeah, we
Yeah.
just, we
Park.
just
I
have
like
to
it.
clear
Yeah.
clear the areas that we're gonna
Yeah.
use.
Yeah,
But in the
Don't water
long
out the
term, I think we do want other people
absolutely.
Just put up some fake fences. Just like,
Yeah.
hey, no, there's stuff over there. Don't make it
Yeah.
scary. Look. Yeah.
Do not leave
Maybe
your
gates.
Togatalks guide.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Togatos will scare him straight.
Yeah.
Do not leave your Togatots Ford Explorer. Anyway, okay.
Tell me, in the lands of your domain, are there entities worth being purged? Focus my wrath.
So he'll
Honestly,
Not allowed to talk to
we
people.
should just drop Togatots in the middle of the Imperium and let them just go wild.
I mean,
So what?
the worst plans.
Let's ask me. I mean, he deserves to whoop some ass. Let's see if he's down. I mean, I don't know.
We can just, can't we just set up like a we have a teleportation circle. We can just
Mhm.
beam everybody to a spot. Nobody leaves that area. We have the thing. Everybody just,
Bangs on
We
heads.
could
Yeah.
just go wherever the teleportation room.
we don't need to focus on.
Yeah, that's.
I
think,
do
the
I do want to reveal that we're in space though.
best.
And I want to put bags in their heads. Like,
We don't need the bags on their head.
Well, we don't even know
He
where the
doesn't even care about
teleportation
hiding their
ring is.
location. He just wants to put the bags
so-
on their heads.
Yeah. It's like just in the next room from her home.
Where is the teleportation circle in?
We
Mount
have.
Nero?
I don't think we've been there yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's like probably like a near the interior, like the main line elevator and stuff, there's a like embassy or like receiving space for teleporting dignitaries and stuff. It's like understood. Yeah, yeah.
I
But it's
wonder
pointed
if-
down now because the
Oh, yeah.
Apgon array is pointed down towards the world.
And there's
Well, I
like
mean, it's flying through space right now, but
also there's a crater.
yeah, there's a big chunk blown out, and
yeah.
yeah, I would say that it's pretty. There's a space that's pretty accessible to the central like elevator chamber. That the mountain was meant to be in space and not like flying down to the world to pick people up all the time. So there was a spot that was centrally located for such a thing. But yeah, and that would include like spaces that like would serve, so long as you didn't want to reveal that you're in space, like places that, spaces that would serve as, if once thoroughly investigated and purged, would be, good, receiving areas for dignitaries, places to put them up if there was like negotiations and stuff going on for multiple days, like all that sort of stuff would be
multiple days. I'm getting bags ready for sure.
Definite bag situation.
Getting back. I'm finding all the burlap I can find. Put that shit together. Multiple days? This ain't just a stop by, see how you're doing, let's have a chat. Like,
A little
no.
bit of a like, that's not a moon. That's a
Bags
space station. Or
on their heads.
But it.
I think we can. I could get some things from my home to adorn the place.
Like some Edison bulb lights? Like, what do you mean? Like, put them up in the patio?
No, like we won't have Betty if you see these places, if there are negotiations that extend longer, we don't have bedding or anything like that. We would need that. We would need decorations. We would need.
Tell them to pack
Is there just like
suitcases.
this whole long list of like items and things and.
We can send them back.
What?
Various kinds of tea that are appropriate for greeting ceremonies.
Absolutely,
for,
yes.
Closing ceremonies.
This isn't a
We
wedding.
need entertainment.
Send them back.
We'll need
This
some
tactical
unseen
meeting.
servants
Yeah,
to
yeah.
serve and cater.
I love those
We'll need
ideas.
a chef.
I think we're
This
thinking too
economy?
much about this.
I mean, I think so.
Zira's really excited.
Yeah, chef. But I mean, Cool is actually really excited, but she's also trying to be practical. She's trying really, really hard to rein it in.
Aiming for a January.
So first, our war council list.
Oh yes.
So far?
We're still going towards the scry. So interrupt us whenever you want with the scrying.
Please, yeah,
By
we're
the way.
listening to that
Oh my god, yeah.
Sorry, Joel, we started that scry like an hour ago.
I have it here though.
You guys are walking with Big Boop up to do the scrying of the Verdant Forge and any other like use of the Panopticon array while Vitaria is there and available to do it instead of making various additional annoying demands on her time, which she will not appreciate.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to honor her business. An entire mountain for us.
You guys head up there and
Oh,
you're
what?
in
She
the
wants
middle
to
of-
be paid now too?
Vitaria, would it help if I made another simulacrum of you?
Vitaria vanishes news.
Don't you dare.
First,
Bursts it out and then looks over at Beep Boop and quiets back
I
down.
have
Never mind.
already
I'm sorry.
suffered enough of this.
She
So as
just
you
looks like
guys-
she never sleeps.
are discussing the war council and who to invite and how to like go about like these details and all these things, and as the elevator music ends and you guys arrive at the Panopticon array at the pinnacle, the point now downward pointing of in the orientation of Mount Ainaru, the Panopticon array. Where you find Vitaria hard at work at this, the control mechanism. Gives you guys just like doesn't even like her glance in your direction doesn't even make it all the way to you. Just like there's just like a clear recognition that she perceives your arrival, but like does not interrupt her own work as you approach. But she does say, "Good. I've prepared the connection with the Panopticon array with Shippy's core. We'll be using Shippy's crystalline heart as a guide for this."
Oh, that's smart.
There's no way this could damage Shippy, right?
That's what I asked earlier.
There is I cannot guarantee that this will not damage Shippy, but it is very unlikely. I do not perceive a way that this will immediately cause any harm to Shippy.
Shippy, you're okay with this,
She
right?
may unless awareness of this place could cause Shippy psychological harm, which I will leave for you to consider.
Hey, Shippy, you're okay with this, right?
Hi there. I'm sure happy to help in any way I can.
That's what I expected. Thanks.
Shippy, how do you feel when we say the words Verdant Forge?
Sounds like a great, green, happy place to go. Let's go when you're ready.
And you don't have any memories of that name or that place?
Should I?
Well, that's
it's-
what we're trying to figure out.
We think that's where you're from.
Oh, that's real exciting to find out.
Do you have any records, even redacted ones, about your creation?
The first thing that I can remember clearly is waking up from stasis with you. But I can perceive shadows of memory. And
That could be the
think I was
first thing you
created
remember.
somewhere in a great burning forge of energy and potential. Stars streamed by. It was amazing, I think.
That's great. I want you to hold on to that memory of us hanging out and that we're good friends. I'm gonna try something real quick, all right? Just hold on.
You got it, co-captain.
I mean,
No,
Shippy,
if
you
we
remember
know-
your name, and that precedes us. So
Hey, you're right.
And the Battle of Redacted.
that's Chocotats. Get your robot straight. We're not all the same.
No, Shippy used to tell us about the Battle of Redacted.
That was Chocotats.
Thank you, Hanson. And she had
No,
Shippy was there.
Had redacted. Shippy had redacted. Shippy was the first one who said redacted to us.
Shippy.
think so.
We found Shippy before Togatot.
Yeah, but Shippy had memories that they didn't know about, and we told them to
Exactly,
look.
they were redacted. They were redacted.
I don't think he ever used the words redacted, but I don't want to argue about it.
I also missed stuff, so I don't know.
We've all missed a few sessions over the last few years.
Should be.
You know.
We're gonna cast a spell on you. Hold on, all right?
Yeah.
That sounds great.
All right.
Let us know if you feel uncomfortable or any anxiety or anything like that, all right, Shippy?
We'll have a safe word.
Absolutely we will. Yeah.
It's
It's a
redacted.
I dig it.
How about potato? That might get confusing.
I like redacted.
It's redacted.
Oh God.
I'll say I'm being redacted if I'm
Okay.
feeling uncomfortable.
Sounds
There
good.
we go.
I can agree with that.
Fuckers.
All right, let's start.
Vitaria says, and you're sure you're quite done with whatever that was?
You never know.
Zero.
You never know.
It's never-
Yeah. I would say just go for it.
Sounds like she just sassed her way out of a bonus.
Mark that down for the year-end review. There is like what looks like it looks very similar to like a large like bowl that is very familiar in form and largely in function to you, Nazira, particularly as like a vessel for scrying, usually filled with some sort of like either like uh, typically like holy water or like under specific conditions of like moonlight or like there are various ways to use such a device or such a form for such scrying, but like in this case you see that like there is this like arcanotech like sort of bowl that is like at first like full of fluid and there's just like this silver layer and it begins to like portions of it like pull up and like let move around like ferrofluid or something, like under influence of magnetic fields and stuff, creating like images of what the scrying is revealing. And Mount Inaru's magic, like the scrying effects of an optical array, you can see like on this readout that or like the system that Vitaria is interacting with. She's like connecting this to like this network, like the scrying through Shippy in a really like MacGyver ad hoc sort of way that was not necessarily intended to be used, but she's using this as like a focus. And like there's like you guys, all of you see like in this chamber that you're in, it's been a while, but you are in this chamber where there are like row after row in this like kind of conical shape towards the opening, toward like to space at the tip of this mountain, which is built to be down, like these row after row of these like engraved with like arcane runes, these panels that each serve to like amplify or manipulate sort of like scrying and like messaging magic. And like several of these rows of them like shift in their positioning to like angle in different ways as the mountain like is oriented itself towards the world. You can see as Mount Inaru is still approaching, returning to Earth after its recent adventures near the sun. You guys can now see that the bright blue green dot of blot of the world in the distance. These panels like shift and angle themselves, and you can see this magic go into effect, and this big silvery bowl of like silvery fluid begins to like first just like waves build in it, and then it just starts building itself into a vast like topographical map of what looks to be like a big mountain range in the northern portion, and it like scans south of that into a vast green jungle. And if what you learned or learned to expect about the Ridden Forge is true, you can expect this to be the jungles of the realms of the Children of Set, south of the Thousandfold Braid. But you see a region that like maps onto that pretty clearly, and it begins to like zoom in, and you can see like more and more of these like levels of these panels like shifting themselves to like amplify this magic and to like perceive this spot. And you see that like there is initially a fuzziness that begins to appear, a something magically resisting or opposing the scrying. And you see Vitaria frown, and she says, it's good that you have Shippy. I think that you are correct in that this is the source of Shippy's heart. It is allowing us to work past some of the defenses that are in place over this forge, whatever it is. And like this fuzziness begins to like burn, like just like peel away, and like you can see like more and more, like it just like zooms into like what looks to be a amidst this just choking green jungle, there is arising from it immense temple structures made of stone. There are like these like numerous like step pyramids or like huge arches made of stone blocks carved and carefully placed together. There's like an immense like temple complex here. And as this zooms in further and further, like you see the resistance, this like some amount of like protective magic that is trying to obscure this place is resisting again the influence, the scrying of the panopticon array. But you see that like there is as the scrying begins to fail in response to this protection, this abjurative magic, you see atop one of these temples there is a big like altar space that is like growing and like into perceivable detail. This looks to be like a central like location of this great complex, And it seems as if the scrying, like, I'll leave that. I'll leave that. Like, yeah, Victoria again, like frowns, like is like frustrated with something as she like continues to try and like operate all this like Arcanotech array of scrying to like bypass this like this protective magic. You see that there are several humanoid figures with long snake-like tails atop this temple. They are at this moment cutting open the rib cage of a humanoid victim. They rip out the heart and they hold it aloft, and this you can see and almost like hear the like excited celebratory cries of response from masses of snake-like figures below. They take the heart, they put it into like this like what looks to be just like something like a mortar and pestle, and they begin to like grind it up with these like what you can't see, but they're throwing other things on this in this, and they take whatever they come out with back, and they put it back in the rib cage of whatever humanoid victim of this, and that person then like that humanoid like clearly dead, like burns like back into life, and you see their head like splits into several long snake-like appendages. Their body shrivels up, their arms shriveling and absorbing into their body, and they transform into this like with a single powerful like snake tail, this like multi-headed abomination is like brought forth out of this body of this sacrificed humanoid.
That's
Oh,
like,
And as you,
looks away
yeah.
a little bit.
Vitaria says, this is frustrating. The Verdant Forge is below this temple, but this temple complex is built atop it and is protecting it from direct observation.
Forge is older than this temple place.
I think that is likely.
Well, these people like a good time. It seems like at other people's expense.
Yeah, that was pretty gross. I like elbow Maylin in the metaphysical realms, and I'm like, glad we're moving away from that kind of stuff. With the like background and crawling darkness and everything.
And maybe what made Shippy. We don't know.
Well,
We talk about abominations. Shippy isn't exactly of normal design. We don't know though.
Don't
Are
talk
you
about
calling
shit like that.
Shippy an abomination?
Shippy is
You take that back.
Shippy isn't an abomination, but does it look like they know what they're doing? I don't know.
I think this is some different sort of magic.
maybe
People's devoted to the way that Shippy was once made, maybe.
I think it's
Old
really
tech.
hard to know how related what's going on here now is related to what years before.
Shippy,
We've
how you
we fought,
feel?
Yeah, that's good. That's a better question.
Vitaria, is there no way past any of
All
this?
right, that's just road snakes. Sequester me to this wooden boat. Return to the old ways.
Ryan, I didn't hear what you said.
I was gonna ask, we fought Yanti before. Do we know? Did those look like the Yanti we fought before, or?
These 100% look like Yonti.
Do I know anything about the customs of the ONT or anything like that?
Yeah, you can give me a history check.
As well.
History.
May I as well?
Yeah.
That was cocked.
Shippy, if those are your people, they seem like an exciting bunch.
I don't feel great about that.
I don't think those are your people, Shippy.
I'm not a big fan.
We don't know
I
anything.
think they moved in afterwards. 23,
Sort
Mark.
23,
20.
20,
Natural one.
natural one. Excellent.
Oh,
Poor people.
I think yeah, Nazira, you've heard, like, you definitely have like heard and studied about like the UNT and many, you know, as distant and esoteric lore about foreign and lost connections that the elves and, you know, dwarves once had. You know, like, yeah, the UNT, this is not an unexpected scene from what you know about a lot of the UNT. They are obsessed with, you know, like there are UNT that like humanoids can interact with and trade with. Sometimes you can never be 100% sure that they're not planning on eating you or, you know, doing a sacrifice or something in the long run. But there's also really, like, there's, you know, that the ONT like have not ventured much from the jungles of the Children of Set, and it's rumored that's because there's been like effectively like a civil war, like an internal like conflict going on for a really long time. And so the ONT that people have met, and, you know, in the stories that have been passed down among the elves, like the ONT that people have met are often like more concerned that you might be like an operative from like the other side of their own internal conflict than they fear any like foreign, or like that they are particularly suspicious or fearful of any like other like foreign entity. And I think that Quilla, you definitely, I think like you get even like a little bit more info with even like a lower role because of your connection there, and like Yuan-Ti's connection to
Darkness.
Calling Darkness.
Yeah.
And it yeah, like you've learned like Yuan-Ti, like there's like this cult within their, you know, their people that like believes the Crawling Darkness is the fulfillment of like their prophecies and religion and stuff. And
Probably pissed some of them off, throwing their god into the sun.
yeah, so it's like is this a group of Yuan-Ti that would thank you for that, like, or, you know, not, would probably wouldn't thank you, but would like recognize that as like an aligned benefit? Or was this a group that would be like, you just imprisoned our god in the sun that we were hoping to break out?
We're trying to, yeah. Did I see any imagery on this temple when we could see into it?
I think with the scrying and the like the defensive magic that was in place that was like trying to be like broken through, like the amount of detail was pretty limited. I'd say give me a perception check with, as like you're one of the like people who like really kind of like in that moment knew what to look for.
Okay, not terrible. 20.
You see that there is like symbolism like that in like the very like rune of like underneath this like sacrificial like, table and stuff. Yeah, like on this altar face, like it's large enough, like it was significant enough that you were able to like make out some detail of this. There does look to be like this symbol, like this what looks to be like a three-part symbol that you've seen elsewhere that depicts the sun, the world, the moon, and Ratha. And there is like Ratha in this like engraving is like the prominently displayed thing, and there is within that like a writhing serpent.
Okay. I think this is the sect that worships the Crawling Darkness. That's on top of the Verdant Forge now.
Probably big fans of us.
Probably
No,
big Hope Gang acolytes at the moment.
probably not big fans.
Chippy, are you a big fan of us?
Big fan of you, co-captain.
That sounds
Tehran.
that sounds
And all
great.
my other co-captains aboard.
Glad to hear it, should be.
Sorry.
Just want to make sure you didn't have a Manchurian candidate moment.
Waiting for the right code words to be said to activate.
Face, what is the relief?
Yeah, really.
Well, this didn't quite work out like I wanted.
Indeed, I wasn't expecting
Can
a
you?
whole ziggurat of yuan tea to be on top of the forge.
No. But at least we know before we went there and showed up and got sucked
Very
into
true, very true.
energy.
Apparently they are
almost
having,
died and died.
from what I understand, they are currently in some sort of civil war, so it might be possible to make some alliance with the opposing side to this group and go in that way.
Yeah,
Is
but we know
that
those ones definitely won't like us because we threw their god into a sun.
just a
We should
little, you know?
likely expect them to betray us at some point.
I
I
mean, we
shouldn't
just
wonder, but it might be feasible.
we didn't totally kill him. I mean, we just delayed the second coming to, you know, for hopefully a long, long time.
It's really about 9 o'clock. So any last thoughts on about or about what your next priority, like what we want to do next sesh?
Is it possible
So
to
my list.
scry on something
God.
similar to Shippy's core, but not quite Shippy's core? Because there's that seed that exists, and it's somewhere in the
Can't scry
Imperium.
an object.
Well, why not?
You can't, because that's the rules of scry.
It's an
That's
object.
dumb. I want to scry on everything.
I know it is. I hate it.
Yeah, definitely a lot more room for any amount of like scrying and messaging that you guys want to do. And any like legend lore or like downtime stuff that you guys want to sink spell slots into. You know, some of that like, we could, yeah. So knowing ahead of time is helpful. To like quickly get through things also.
I think
But yeah, I'm curious what you guys are feeling for next major steps for the party.
like scrying on Loomis and then holding our war council. So we need to decide who's at our war council. Which probably includes reaching out to Jacob, Bocenti, and Philip Lamont at the very least.
Attacking Loomis.
I added a tab in the notes called War Council, so we can put in anyone we think needs to be included.
Getting our forward operatives out there as soon as possible.
Yeah.
We need to get the forward ops out. Nazir is also going to try to contact probably like Vocenti and some other people to see about hiring on some people to help clear out this place. I also think that since Jacob Install and some of the other leaders might know more particularly who specific diplomatic leaders of other places that we haven't gotten to, like that place with all the adventurers, Trebizond. That might be he might know who to invite.
I was thinking Vicenti might be a good contact, or maybe he knows some folks there. Lola's racking her brain for any contacts she might remember.
So I have so far. I have
idea.
Aquila, if you want to.
Yeah.
If we want to go over this now or not, I don't know. My family.
Yeah.
Aquila's representative. My dwarven representative. So they'd be the cohorts to the elves. Jacob Instel. The leaders of Underketten.
Leaders under Kitten.
Yeah, so the dwarves Underketten.
Yeah.
I think they should probably be involved too. We have, depending on our legend lore, Visigoth.
Yeah.
Nibbles,
Pending legend lore, so we need to do legend lore as a big picture thing.
Nibbles has contacts in Erdura, so he'd be the one to ask for that. Valkreath people. I'd like to include Element just for fun because you need the dark horse in a diplomatic meeting.
Can we leave the Zorn here? The Zorn? No, yeah, you guys got the Zorn out of the material thing where they were trapped. So yeah, they got sent home.
Don't forget about
And now
Priest
we're-
Captain Zelthazik.
Yeah.
Balthazar?
Priest Captain Zelthazik, the
Yeah, from
BHG.
oh yeah.
Jake, and I said allow Jacob and Still to determine if there are any others we should invite, because he might have better contacts with Free Cities personnel.
Yeah.
The Giants of Valkreath, I don't know if we want to invite them.
That could be good. Giants.
Maybe we could invite my old friend Eleazar.
Yeah. He'd be so excited to go.
He'd be so excited. It would be just up his alley.
I'm so
The
enthusiastic.
random
about this.
sending after like a month. It's like, you want to join this fight?
Did we convince him to work on the Arcane Circle in Kenton? I can't remember. It was on my list. I don't remember how far we got with it. I feel like we did, right?
Yeah.
He was like put in his
sometimes.
castings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
All I remember about that guy was Nazira's sendings to insult
Constant sendings to the
Yeah.
man.
Send like, no, you.
won him over, much to his
Chagrin.
yeah,
Yeah.
much to his chagrin.
The grumpy old wizard who
Yeah.
was like, all right,
Grumpy
you're not
old
the
lizard.
worst. And I am lonely.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
So that's what I've gotten so far.
Did you have
That's a good-
Gray? Gray and his
Oh, yeah.
druids as
Gray
well?
and the Druids.
We're in the
Um,
druids.
A good one.
Like that was the only one I didn't hear. That was
What about Gloomwood folks? Do we have any Gloomwood folks we want to invite? No.
Those would be Element and Valkreath.
Maybe in the forward team, sleep team 6.
Otherwise, it would be the Changing King, and I think he's more caught up in things with the Fae.
Yeah.
You guys did meet some orcs that lived
Yeah.
in the wood.
Oh, that's right.
those orky folk.
From the influence of the,
Okay.
they're fleeing from the influence of the witches,
Oh, that's right.
that were corrupting the Changing King.
Yeah, let's invite them.
Yeah, they had been, and they revealed, this is so long ago, but they revealed that like they had been like contacted by and effectively like orcish ambassadors from the Thousandfold Braid about joining them.
Oh,
That's right.
what if we could?
What about? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, having someone
Just saying,
old braid would be great.
the enemy of
That
my
makes-
enemy.
Yeah.
Isn't that a lot of this already? No?
Maybe the Thousandfold Braid, if they had contacts with them.
I
Look
mean,
against security and see what we wanted.
you got a lot of groups listed. If we
They're
get
really
even,
big.
if we get even half of them, where does that put us?
A lot of these are pretty small. Like, I mean, like the
Yeah.
Thousandfold Braid is like, comparative and like, potential military strength and stuff, like probably more substantial than all of the Free Cities combined.
Yeah.
But
think-
much more
I
hard
think-
to arrange
Oh.
and wield and like align and stuff, because it's, they're a little bit farther away
And
and
we
have
don't
their own.
really have.
Yeah, you guys haven't really pursued like all
Inroads
of those
there.
interests.
Yeah.
Helping
you know.
hasn't
I
actually.
mean, if Empire's teetering, we can send some people up to Ratia and
Yeah, exactly. Ration's on our side.
Yeah.
You send them to the Imperium, then they immediately join the Imperium. Like, God damn it.
I'm all for the strongest allies we can trust.
I mean, if we show them the strength of our mountain, there's no way they can say that we're not the strongest. So,
Except we
Raisha,
don't have much control over the mountain. It's like busting out a Corvette and you can't drive it. Like,
You immediately wreck it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get the
Intimidating.
majesty and like the scale of bust down on a mountain on a bunch of noobs, but it's like it's like we got to protect this thing and then clear it out from any other garbage we got floating around in here. It's like a David Lynch movie happening like down the hall. Like I don't know what's going on.
We could also focus on a smaller group and then these certain
Sure.
individuals, and then have those people reach out to their contacts and
Yeah.
have them build
Yeah.
those alliances further
Right.
out.
I used to centralizing communication is best, so
We don't have to organize everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Exactly.
This is, that sounded like a ton of names, and it's a lot, but it's only like 11. So
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it's actually not like, we're not talking of like about 100-person meeting. We're talking about a representative
Small.
council.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and not everybody's going to respond. I do think we
Oh,
should vet and verify.
if
who
they
we
don't
want to
respond,
respond.
Naziro will plague their
Oh,
mind.
yes, but
I haven't heard your RSVP yet.
but I mean, ours
Please
is
respond at the
fast
earliest
because we're making this happen fast. We have to
Yeah,
go
we need
quick.
to do it.
So they're not all going to be able to come right away. But that's okay.
We'll also
I
have
have
to
the option to
determine
teleconference in too. So
we'll also have to determine the timeline of how because I'll probably have to go and teleport them.
Right.
I'm training pigeons immediately
So.
for hearing messages. Like, just like my guys are
Nazira
off.
is definitely planning to invite her family early and give them the tour.
These are the
I
men.
mean, it's probably pretty trusted. Like, family on the other hand, right now we're a bunch of shitheads, other than my grandma. So, well, I mean, I always thought my brothers were kind of shitheads. Even, I mean, not really, but kind
They're
of.
probably fine. They're just-
Like most siblings. But
like most siblings, they're probably fine. They're just dumb.
my dad is under the sway, so there's who knows what else is going on.
Yeah, I'll start watching Fox News.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn it, so true.
Old news. All the news press at Imperium.
Okay,
The Empire's voice.
so I think we described a handful of things.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
good.
Probably
Connected.
more than one session's worth of content.
Yeah, I think, like organizing a work council will definitely be a bit, yeah, we
Well,
can probably imagine that it would probably be like